Hey, what's up, guys? We are. I guess we'll start with introductions. I'm Retsuko Dragon alongside of Seiko, and or Seiko. I will never know how to pronounce your name. Maybe out of spite at this point, but who knows?
No worries. It's Seiko is how I usually tell people to say it, but I mean
Alright,
Seiko,
Seiko.
Seiko. I've even had Psycho thrown me a few times, but either way is fine. Hello everybody. Thanks for joining us for what will be one of several different Seiko Summer Splashes coming on. We'll be changing the name for the different splits coming on. I want to apologize to our loyal viewers that have been watching ever since the summer split and to this from the spring split to the summer splash. Life has kind of taken over. And I have ended up having to coach my fourth grade son's basketball team. And I don't know how many parents are out there that are playing. I know some of you, we've learned, a little bit older, even though I keep being called a boomer. I hate you, vid. It's been an experience. And last night was our very first game. So our practice is on Tuesday and the games are on Wednesday. So which is why we may have to move until this is over, move some of the Seiko special get cast to Thursday. But last night was the very first game, and I learned an interesting thing about the league that we're in, Rex. You know what I learned last night?
What did you learn? What did you learn?
So this league is supposed to be third and fourth grade kids, mostly boys. And last night I learned that our team, the team that I've got, which is eight kids, is mostly fourth graders. And then I learned also last night that in order to make the league better or bigger for more people to play, they brought up second graders to play. And what I learned from that was three of the other teams in the league are almost entirely second graders. So last night it was a fourth grade team against second graders. How do you think that went for us?
It sounded great, honestly. You know what? But I
Uh,
mean,
we, we,
it was
we,
good, yes.
we, we ran them over 38-8.
Jeez.
So it was, interesting. And much like the blowout that we had last night, this league for the Summer Splash, we've seen several different blowouts. Some of these we kind of missed, but it is now playoff time for Gold and Plat. In Gold at the top of the list, we've got Your Gundam Academy with 5-0, Mind Your Business at 4-1, Cosmic Flow at 3-2, Last Minute Goons 2-3, Dirty Diet Boys, who is our Cinderella team now, is 1-4. The Lighthouse Snowbirds at 0-5. Now, based on the beginning of the season, when we were kind of looking how these teams were kind of playing, Rex, are you surprised about what the standing where things are at right now?
Well, okay, so before we go into like the gold gauntlet standings, I would say, honestly, I'm not too surprised. I did whenever we were doing those the introduction to everything, like the scheduling stream. Whenever I was doing that, I was like, these we have some good returning teams, and then some ones that I think are just kind of like hit, just like just wild cards essentially. I guess the biggest surprise I have is Lighthouse Storm being an 0-5 team right now, or Lighthouse Snowbirds, because I believe they did pretty well during the spring split, but I suppose this time around the summer is they're trying to take it back a little bit.
A little bit, and I'm also a little surprised by that. I know some of the guys at Lighthouse Snowbirds, and also some of the guys at Last Minute Goons. But Lighthouse Snowbirds, I was expecting them to be a little bit more of a middle of the pack team. They are still relatively new playing together. I still think they've got a strong bottom lane. They may need to work some of the kinks out as far as their communication goes overall. Last Minute Goons has stepped up a little bit from when we saw them play during the spring splits. But your Gotham Academy, excuse me, and mind your business. Glad to see those guys running things to the top. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the gauntlet for gold is going to shake out. But Cosmic Flow has been a team that had, I want to say, one of the best logos. I'll go back up here. Where's it at? I mean, just phenomenal. Look at this. This is some high quality art here, and just great looking logo. Vid really like these guys. I like them so far, but unfortunately, these guys have fallen already in the tournament to one of the lower ranked teams, and that is the Dirty Diet Boys. Dirty Diet Boys have knocked out Lighthouse Snowbirds. The Dirty Diet Boys have upset Last Minute Goons. And then next week, I'm sorry, they haven't done it yet. They're going to be playing against Cosmic Flow next.
Oh,
So this is a
so
team
there's a
that is.
little bit of a prediction here from Seiko right there, just saying it's like he already saw the future, boys.
I'm seeing it right now. This is what I'm thinking is going to happen. Dirty Diet Boys. I think they finally got their act together. They've won what they needed to, and they're going to be working their way up. So sixth place, fifth, fourth place, the third, etc. And so Dirty Diet Boys is the one that's been playing so far. And where's my match results and everything up? And so we're looking ahead to next week, and we should be seeing some fun things happening. Your Gotham Academy, I still think maybe the one that's going to win out overall, but I think when we get towards the end of it, I think it will end up being Dirty Diet Boys against Your Gotham Academy. But I think Your Gotham Academy will be the ones that will be the ones to take it home. They've been 5-0 up to this point. They've beaten everybody. They know everybody's routine. Dirty Diet Boys, it's good to see them turn things around, but we'll see what happens to them further in the tournament. What do you think is going to happen between Cosmic Flow and the Dirty Diet Boys up to that point?
I think the biggest advantage that Dirty Diet Boys has right now against Cosmic Flow is that they've been, playing together pretty consistently, because they had to work their way up this bracket so far. They had to fight against the Lighthouse Snowbirds for 1 week. They had to fight against the Last Minute Goons for another week. And while Cosmic Flow, they had to kind of conduct their own sort of practices. They didn't have any teams to necessarily warm up against or practice some of their actual things. They could organize scrims, of course, as always, but it's nothing like the real thing. And so far, I feel like Dirty Diet Boys is, have a little bit of advantage because they're already warmed up. They don't need a warm up.
Yep. All right, I headed down into the Platinum. This is the one. This division is one that is kind of. I want to say I'm shook, but Reign of Kings being at the top of the Plat division. God, I'm gonna pull this up. Plat division. Brahms Beach Bodybuilders. Wow, they really go for these alliterations, don't they? 6-0 Reign of Kings, Degenerate Esports Exiles, which I'm glad these guys have done what they've done. I have my own feelings about DEG, but they're a fun group of guys. 4-2, MG Dome 4-2, Sensei Squad 3-3, Lampost 3-3, the Big Richards 2-4, Please Ban Quinn 1-5, and Composure 1-5. These guys have a lot of fun. A lot of fun things are going to be happening tonight. So we've got a couple of things that are going on. I'm talking right into my mic, Dogmar. Don't know what else I can do here to help you out. But the big one tonight that we're going to be looking at is going to be MG Dome versus Lamppost, because this is going to have a lot of implications for how the rest of the playoffs are going to shake out tonight. Sensei Squad may or may not get in depending on what's going to happen with MG Dome, but we will dig a little bit more into that. As far as the Brahms Beach Bodybuilders, I'm going to have to pull this up to look at this. What are your thoughts on the standings of this so far? Are you surprised to see Reign of Kings being 6-0 at this point?
No, I mean they Reign of Kings previously were the winners of the spring split, so I knew they were pretty strong contenders coming into this. Lampost was a team created of a lot of individuals previously of the, a lot of individuals that from Reign of Kings, and then a little bit of like the other GSM members. A new guy, I think his name is like not Levy's. Not exactly who he is, but they look like a pretty solid team, and they're in the middle of the pack so far. I'm hoping to see maybe they're maybe depending on how this goes with MG Dome versus Lamppost, which we will be doing a little bit of a tri-cast of their game tonight after the Seiko special. And it would be interesting to see how that's going to turn out and see if they're actually going to be knocking out Sensei Squad from the playoffs.
That is going to be true. And just pulling up some of the ROKs and stuff here. So ROK in week 4 2-0'd Lampposts. ROK in find these 2-1 Sensei Squad. And then in week 6, looks like ROK 2-1 MG Domed. And so it seems like ROK, while they're there, they're not a true 6-0. They're at the top. They have been, some teams have taken a game off them, so it is possible to take Reign of Kings to a 3-game series. And so just some of the teams that are in the playoffs will keep that in mind as they're doing this. I know a couple of other teams, the one that we had cast, the Mingos and the GSM. Mingos did kind of meme game 1 a little bit, but we'll be interested to see just how those two are going to shake up throughout the playoffs here. For the other brackets, we've got another team that's 6-0 for the Sets Sandcastle Strikers. Mingos are at 2-1, Area of Crowd Control at 5-1. Glad to see these guys come back. Area of Crowd Control was one from the summer split that I don't think got the respect that they deserved as a team. They had a couple bumps and bruises. They lost a couple of players early on. They kind of had to scramble to put things back together, and I'm glad to see Area of Crowd Control come back for the summer splash, and hope to see these guys in the fall split as well. Ice Cold Beverages sitting at 4-2. GSM Gold sitting at 4-2, and then we've got 4 Fun Boomers at 3-3. Delmar Gaming at 2-4, and then an unfortunate series of events have Condemned and Moon at 0-6. Moon, I believe, was one of the first teams to kind of dropped out. Some internal things may have happened there. Condemned, I am not sure if how far they made it into it. Yeah, so it looks like I Condemned. They did, despite things not going well for them, they did make their way to the end of the split, and that's commendable. Going the way out 0-6. But I mean, hopefully you learn things as a team, come back and play together. And I don't know if this speaks more on me or not, but I have played ranks both with the ADC of Condemned and also with the ADC of Lighthouse Snowbirds, and both these teams haven't won a game. Now, I won with those ADCs, but I don't know what that says about these guys in this league. If that means a ranked was just easier for us, or if I was the difference, I don't know. But Condemned, I know, is a solid team to play together, and hope to see these guys turn it around. Get a little bit more practice in, and can see what can possibly happen there. But when you're looking at the sets of Sandcastle builders, what are your thoughts about how this is shaking up for playoffs?
Well, we have my low-key favorite team, Mingos, over on the top, and they were also, undefeated in the spring split as well for the Mingos before going off into playoffs there. So it's not really big of a surprise seeing them that they, made it back to again for that. So it's, I'm still rooting for, because we got the rematch for Mingos versus Reigning Kings, but maybe the third time's the try for the Mingos. We saw them win out once against the Reigning Kings, and then Reigning Kings breed them back. So I'll be interested to see if Mingos, if they can get past the quarterfinals and the semifinals, going against Reigning Kings. It would be really interesting to see that matchup. AoE Crowd Control, I agree with you. I thought they were a solid team. Just a little. I feel like in some cases we were just a little overshadowed just by some of these other teams that are maybe a little bit more vocal in some of these plat chats, because that's how I remember a lot of these teams. They converse a lot, especially if they're winning a lot too. They tend to be pretty vocal. So it's they have definitely been a little overshadowed, but I think it'd still be a pretty interesting game to see once we actually get them on stream here for the summer split. Everyone else seems pretty, in line. I am interested, or it is interesting to see that GSM Gold, which is actually the previously GSM Gold team, moving up to Plat, is doing fairly well for themselves too, 4-2.
Yes, they are. And just to back up a bit before we get on to slide 7, because we got time to kill. So the very last Sega special that we did was around week 3, and so fortunately we have missed several weeks since then. So we're gonna do some recaps starting in week 4 just to catch everyone up on what's happened and why the rankings have gotten to where they're at. So in week 4 was the one that we had cast Domingos versus GSM, and that was a 2-1 game in favor of the Mingos. The first game, for those who don't remember, the Mingos kind of trolled their picks a little bit in the first game, and GSM basically, rolled them and then ran them over. Then the second game, GSM, I would also argue that GSM maybe have trolled themselves a little bit in that game. The Mingos kind of came back that game, and as bad as GSM beat the Mingos in the first game, the Mingos beat GSM just as bad the second game. But then that third game came, and oh man, you remember that third game, Rex?
I remember I had a lot of mic issues during that game, so I was unable to cast that very
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it was a crazy game that I regret actually missing out on that one.
It was insane. It was very close, very tight to the edge. I mean, both teams, got the memeing out of their system, and then they, went at it. And there were throws on both sides, but at the end of the day, it ended up being the Mingos that won out on top of GSM in that game. That same week, ICB had a 2-0 over Condemned. Delmar Gaming had the win over OGM, who looks like they were still in the league at that point. AOC Crowd Control 2 over Fun for Boomers. Please Ban Quinn got the 2-0 over Quinn. MG Domed taking a win off of Sensei Squad got a win off of MG Domed. Randy Kings 2 over Lamp, and Dex over the Big Richards in week 4. Week 5, we've got GSM taking out for Fun. Randy Kings 2-1 over Sensei Squad. Mingos 2-1 over ICB. This is another game where we think if the Mingos may have trolled game 1 or not, but these guys may have tendency to troll a little bit. We'll see if the Mingos will troll a bit in the playoffs or not, because things are coming down to the wire. OGM, this is the week, and they started forfeiting to AOE Crowd Control. Composure, the 2-1 over Lampost. Dex 2-1 over MG Dome. The Big Richards 2-0 over Please Ban Quinn. And then hitting the week 6 of last week for the Platinum right before playoffs. Randy Kings 2-1 over MG Domed. AOC 2-0 over Condemned. Mingos 2-1 over For Fun Boomers. I'm now offended by that name. Dex getting the 2-0 over Composure. Lamppost 2 over the Big Richards. ICB get the forfeit over OG Moon. GSM the 2-1 over DMG. And Sensei Squad finishing out being 2-1 over Please Ban Quinn. Winning the first and third game on that one. And now all this leading up for what's happening tonight. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we have said, it is going to be MG Domed versus Lamppost tonight. And tonight, if MG Domed wins, then MG Domed gets the 3rd spot, and Sensei Squad gets the 4th spot. If Lamp wins, then there's going to be a 3-way tie between MG Domed, Sensei Squad, the Lamppost, and MGD. If Lamp wins and has the highest win rate loss ratio, no matter what, if it's 2-1 or 2-0 or 2-1, Lamp will be 3rd. If it's 2-0, then Sensei Squad has a better win-loss ratio than MG Domed, and Sensei Squad will be 3rd. If it's 2-1, Sensei Squad and MG Dome have equal win-loss ratio, and then MG Dome has the highest against Sensei Squad, and then MG Dome would be 4th. And that is a lot of statistical reviewing that Agent A2 Alex has been doing this entire time. But for the game tonight, we've actually got a couple of subs that are going to be happening tonight, and I am trying to find the sub role request. We are going to have Mr. Person Man who's going to be subbing in for MG Dome Mook Stark, New York, and for Lamppost. And then I thought I heard that Alex was going to be subbing in for Lamppost as well this week, but I don't see that going into the chat just yet. Oh, Agent A2 is a sub.
Yes.
All right. So it looks like both teams. So it looks like both teams will be tonight. And actually, since we're talking about subs tonight, let me go pull up. Oh, I just had it. Now where did it go? Be smarter than it is. All right. All right. So Mr. Person Man, who's currently in the game right now, Looks like this guy is mostly jungle player, plays a lot of Graves, Released the last few games. This guy looks like mostly Viego. Shocker, playing a broken champ.
Psst,
And then
you're
Alex.
still you're
What's?
still sharing the PowerPoint.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
Yeah. You can just switch to full screen share
Yep.
for Discord, and then I can follow you. We don't need any sound from your side.
How's he doing this? Share your screen. Screens. There we go. All right, cool. Ah, shut up, bit. All right.
There
So
we
Mr.
go.
Person Mr. Person Man, who just recently joined our Discord and is not a brand new Discord. So plat 4, almost, wow, look at that game ratio. Well over almost, I'm saying approaching 900 games. It's not close to 1,000 games. This man plays a lot of League. Viego, likes to abuse Viego and Vi. Almost, really good win rate on Hecarim. See this guy will be playing for MG Dome tonight. Alex, what is Alex's OPGG actually? I feel like I should know that.
This Agent A2, but he's playing for Reign of Kings versus Composure.
Ah, Agent A2. Never mind. I thought it was gonna be this game. Never mind. So Agent A2 previously has been Diamond before, and don't let these gold and plat things fool you. The man is solid as well as he can cast and get into games. Agent A2 is no slouch, so I would say if they've got him in the game, they should have a little bit of an edge in that game and have an A2 playing with them. But Alex, really good player. That would be a spice game to watch as well. For MG Domed tonight, with them having a sub in versus Lampost, do you think that's going to impact how they're going to play tonight?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like for the most part it will. Typically, whenever you get a sub, it's not necessarily anyone that you've had practice with. Teams, sometimes you'll have a little less synergy. If you watched the cast this past week with Dirty Diet Boys versus the what's the team name? Last Minute Goons. They had a sub in Gabe Chavez. He played a little bit with them, but there was also still a lot of miscommunication in their games. If you're watching, just some missed call outs. They weren't calling it out together as a team. They weren't communicating as well, and that's just kind of the things that happen whenever you have a sub or you just don't have as much practice together as a team. You need to really have good communications with each other in order to really keep it up, and try to go for some of the more ballsy plays. You need to be able to communicate with your team and let them know about what's happening.
Yeah, and there's you're actually sharing an interesting story with me that I didn't know about. Was with the Excise, they were playing, was it playoffs or regular season? It was regular season when they were needing a sub. And would you mind sharing with our audience how Excise was going about getting subs for their games?
So I mean, I'm sure if you were in Diamond Chat, you know about this already. Plat Chat, and I have no idea if you guys actually knew about this story, but it comes from. So this was our semifinals match. It was what was their team name? For SSI, it was SSI Wind previously, but then he got kicked off, and then some other members, but I couldn't exactly remember them. But anyways, for SSI's team in Diamond, they were against Snake. Thank you, Gabe Kotsky. Yeah, it was Snake versus the My Little Pog champs. For that game, something happened with their mid laner, so they couldn't have him in. They found a new guy. It got approved. But when we looked closer at it, it turns out that he reached it's Masters and then dropped out of it. He reached Masters for like a day, then dropped out of it. But according to our rules, we couldn't have that happen, so he had to look for a sub pretty much very close to whenever match time was going on. I think they managed to find another person, but they were also ineligible because they didn't have enough games yet. And then in order to, as a last minute call, we had SSI jump into a solo queue game. He then typed in, "Hey, I'm playing for this tournament. Who want?" And then asked the mid laner in that solo queue game, Do you want in on it?" He said yes. They jumped, so they dodged the queue. Cost him 3 LP, but then they cost him 3 LP. Jumped right, got his OP.GG. He got approved, got him into the game, and in time before any forfeits were to be had, And yeah, and then they went on to play that series. I think that went on for no, okay. So they did play game one, and then we found out they were ineligible, so they had to redo game one. I remember because I had to cast all of that plus another series right after it. So yeah, we finished game one. We had to redo that because they had an ineligible mid laner. We got a new mid laner on them. He was also ineligible. So then they found the guy from solo queue, got him in. He was approved. He was a Talon one trick, and they obviously banned Talon that game. Did not go out well for that first game, but then Snake went on to find another mid laner that was a little bit better and went on to 2-1 My Little PogChamps in that semifinal. It was a long day that day.
I can imagine, and I had no idea. Like I heard the outcome. I heard there was trouble with subs, but for I guess for someone just to hop in solo queue and find a guy that goes, yeah, I'll sacrifice my LP and hop in there. Had to been just insane. But thankfully tonight's that's not what's happening. All the subs have been approved. We're looking forward to a really good series tonight. When it comes to comparing MG Dome versus Lamp, who are you giving the edge to tonight in the game?
MG Dome versus Lamp. Well, I honestly I kind of want to root for Lamp just because it has some of the members that I've known. But at the same time, I also kind of root for MG Dome just because every time they win, they just post Doug Dimmadome, with a huge hat that says "Get Domed." So that was kind of funny. But honestly, I feel like Lamp has a little bit of a better team as players that I've seen before, so I can, it's easier for me to quantify that, Lamp is probably a better team. But anything could happen, honestly, and I'd be excited to see how that all turns out.
Yeah, one thing that is kind of shocking to me at least to see is to see Lamp falling to Composure, who is 1-5, and so Composure that being their only win. I know that week for Lamp, that about a week that they get a couple of subs for that one. But to fall to a team that low going up against MG Dome, a little bit of doubt if they're doing that. But at least they don't have any subs tonight that we see for right now. MG Dome, a little bit better records, so they may have had more of their team throughout the split than the Lamp may have. But moving on from that, I know we've got a lot of fun tonight. Vid will be joining us here in a bit. Seaflow telling me that they're disappointed in me here in the chat.
It's right there in the middle.
I will show you what happens when it's about. Fair enough. And so now it is time for us to go through our skin selection for what are some great skins and what are bad skins. And I had several people message me and send me some skins. We had some of the teams that are playing tonight. Nation had some different people. I even asked you, Rex, for a couple of your favorite skins. And so we're gonna be reviewing, going through some of these. And first of all, and I will preface this in saying, I told everybody to tell me, what is your favorite, what is your worst skin, and they were sending me information and say, here's my favorite and my worst. Excited to see these. And I went, well, just so you know, I'm gonna decide if these are good or bad skins or not. And then people got a little worried and a little upset. I shared some of those with you, and I'm expecting some flame from you, Rex, and that's fine. But moving on to our first few, skins they're pretty good. Okay. First of all, for me, these two Nami skins, Cosmic Nami, and I should know what this is, but I forgot what this is called.
It's like
these
Enchantress or something.
Yeah, the Enchantress, some Splendid Staff Nami. I think it's what it might be. But these two are actually some of the better, more of the fun skins that they've got that are come out. And before these came out, my favorite skin was actually Project Nami was actually one of my favorite skins for that, and that was because some of the animations were a little wonky, a little off. Some of the hitboxes were a little bit harder to see, kind of like the Steel Legion Lux skin, and so that's kind of why I preferred looking or playing with that skin, because it was slightly pay to win, but I think they fixed some of the visual effects with that. But these two, very pleasing, very beautiful. I do wish you would get Victoria's skin. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but these are these are some fun skins that are here. And some other skins we've got here: Nosferatu Vlad, Space Groove Gwen, Business Mundo, Coven Morgana, Bewitching Morgana, Odyssey Sona, Spirit Blossom Ari, DMG, Twisted Blade, or Twisted Fate, Blood Moon Zillion, and then Lee Sin. Now these are some pretty fancy, really good looking skins. A Blood Moon Zillion is one that's it's kind of warmed its way into my heart a bit. This is Zillion's been a fun champ to play when I've gotten a chance to play him. Probably one of my favorite skins that he's got. The only other skin that I think of his that I think is fun to play with is a Time Machine Zillion. And then apart from that, the one champ on here, actually the two champs I will say now that needed a well-deserved facelift was Morgana. The new look of the Morgana skins that they got are just fantastic. And the Mundo skin was a much-needed update. I didn't realize how bad this guy needed it until they updated the visual effects on him. But what do you think about what we're looking in front of us right here?
Well, I gotta say, I disagree with the Twisted Fate skin because the first time I was on here, I told you why I liked them, but now that they actually released them, I will give my insights of why I don't like this skin. It's it's very heavy on the treble, and not really much on the bass. I would like a lot more bass onto this. Scott, she's just saying thanks for the PayPal, but and then so yeah, that's the only reason why I don't like the skin. It looks cool. Granted, I just wish the special effects sounded better. I'm a big special effects guy, sound effects. I'm a big guy for that one for when it comes to the skin. So Zillion, or Blood Moon Zillion, that's the one I voted for. Great sound effects. I can see the Storm Dragon Lee Sin. That one has pretty good effects and pretty good sound design as well. Big fan of those. And then I'm always a fan of the new of Mundo, Corporate Mundo, Money Man Mundo. But the new one looks great too.
They really turned it up. And when I first saw it in a game, I actually forgot that he had the new rework and everything. That it kind of came out. But I mean, when I looked through the skins that they had, just phenomenal. I mean, they just look great. And so this is a fantastic looking skin. The other one that the other one that's doing that, just fantastic. All right, now a little confession. Scorches. This is gosh, I'm looking at these guys. MG Domed players. What are these? MG Domed. Yeah, MG Dome. So MG Dome's top laner was the one that had Nosferatu Vlad and Space Roof Gwyn, but he had these listed as his hated skins. And to quote him, he said, "These are literal ass cheeks." Is what he said. But I'm gonna say right now, MG Domed, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. And so then he says the only skin that he hates, that his favorite skin is Business Mundo. So I put all three of these here. These are fun skins here to have. I have to close this door. My God. And so as far as Sona skin goes, Sona skin was sent over to us by Glitter and Gains. This is one of her favorite skins to play with. She also likes Koi Nami. This is what she had said, but you don't see it here, and there's a reason for that. Spirit Blossom was sent over to us by Seaflow. Seaflow also had a few others. Actually, Spirit Blossom was sent by Seaflow. Who sent this over? Wasn't Rex? Hold on. Leroy. That's right. Leroy's Randy Newman sent over Spirit Blossom Ari. Ari can have some pretty fun skins, and her effects can also be kind of tricky to kind of get down, given as quick she can dash and with the different hearts she can throw and everything. She's also one of the few champs that has the skins kind of interacts with some of the different creatures on the map. I think for Popstar R, you can go over and dance with blue buff, and the blue buff will dance along with you, which is pretty cool to have. And then for Slappy on Lamp, Slamp is one that says he actually hates Storm Dragon Lee Sin, and I think Slappy is wrong. Slampy is dead wrong. And then on down for Seaflow, Inferno Galio, Cosmic Needly, Elderwood Ivern, and then Jailbreak Graves. And I always forget Jailbreak Graves is a skin until I see it. And this looks like it almost belongs in kind of like a sci-fi movie almost. What are your takes on these four skins, and how wrong is Seaflow for liking these?
Honestly, okay. I'm not gonna disagree about the Jailbreak Graves. It is pretty bad skin about that one. Just because it's always forgettable. It is unique, but I don't think actually it really adds too much to the actual skin line for Graves. Even post his rework all long time ago, I'm just never a fan of the skin. However, the Elderwood Ivern, I do like that one. So you know what? I'm just gonna say that Seiko's wrong on this one, and because Revenant buff is the best.
I will say the reason that I have kind of trolled a little bit of Glitter's picks is because one of her favorite skins that she has listed on here is Candy King Ivor, which I think is just an atrocious skin, and so that just made me kind of look at her rest of her choices like, does she know what she's talking about? But clearly she has better fashion taste than I do. But when it comes to league skins and everything, I don't think so. Now to the ones where we're probably gonna make some people upset, kind of here. First of all, Koi Nami and River Spirit Nami. These used to be the skins that I used the most with Nami because these are the only ones that I really had. These were really just more. I would play with these just to annoy people in game, just because they were they were eyesores. It's like the candy the Candy Lulu skin. That little creepy look that she's got. Actually, I gotta look it up now because it's so
The
creepy.
Poppy. The lollipop.
That one too. The old one of that too. Yeah, where is it? Bittersweet Lulu. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. Look at this monstrosity. Look at this. Because the only thing you get here is this. You only get the face and the little screen down at the bottom. Then the UI. All you get is this, and this is horrific. And so when you kill somebody, when somebody kills you, this kind of pops up, and it's almost like I've got this coming at me now, and this is horrible. I hate it and I love it. I'm glad it's a legacy skin. They also need to add another category onto these, which will give you nightmare skins. But onto the ones that were sent to us. Forecast Jana was actually submitted by Clear and Gaines, is one that she hates. Pulsar Thresh, kind of on this. Cosmic River Cassidon, Blood Moon, Prestige, Aatrox, Toxic Mundo, Magician, Twisted Fate, Arcana, Xerath. No, I'm sorry. This is God King Darius. This is the Prestige Aatrox, and then Assassin Yi. These skins, man, I don't know what to say. I couldn't find the new splash art, so that's why I've got these on here. Kachki. So I actually like this old Mundo skin versus the new one, because this looks like he's almost peeled somebody's face off, or like another representation of himself on his face. But right now, the new one, and I need to see if I can find it now. It just looks like he's got a. There they are. Okay, here we go. If I look for other things, I work in search engine marketing. I should be able to use this thing a lot better than I do right now. Okay, but I'm looking at images and I can't find it. All right, you know what? Let's go to here. Pull this up. All right, so right here, this is the new Mundo skin. And it looks like he's just got, it almost looks like a Halloween kind of thing. Instead of being, this, which is, like he's peeled the face and this. And so for me, it's not as terrifying. This is the more of the toxic thing. So kind of going for more of the I guess like Bane look for Mundo. Whereas this, still, I mean, he's basically green, so it looks kind of like the Hulk. I think they probably need to rework that whole toxic lineup. Business Mundo, I do think looks really good compared to what it used to. And then Athletic one, I like that. So I like some of the skins changes have been great. Some of them not as good, but definitely disagree on that. Assassin Yi, every time I see this, I know he's supposed to seem like an assassin, and he is terrifying when he's fed. But to me, every time I see this, I think of those little bugs that come flying at the light, like those little June bugs, is what I think of every time I see that. So I can't ever take that one seriously. And when it comes to the Arcana Xerath skin, I will admit it's starting to grow on me a little bit, kind of like the Spirit Blossom Thresh skin did, but a lot for the same reasons. This one, it just takes a champion that you recognize and you look at from out of what they usually are to something completely different. And it looks like he's got the Eye of Sauron on his chest, or he's taken it from Vel'Koz essentially. But it's starting to grow on me. But I'll let you speak to defend this skin and the ones that are on this list.
All right. Let's start off. First, Forecast Gina, not a bad skin, because you hit that ulti, she starts flying away. That's hilarious. That's comedy right there. Come on.
I need to ask Glitter why she put it on here. I mean, she picked that, and I was like, you know what? We'll toss up and see what happens, because right here in the chat, I'm already seeing people go, "That's the best skin ever." So I'll side with you a little bit on that one.
All right. Next up, we have all right. Mundo, the new Mundo. I like it because it still fits in with my redundant champion name team that I eventually will create. I want because we have Draven. He's just wearing a giant mask. He's literally wearing a mask the size of his ego on his head. And Bard, he's a bard. That's a bard. And then Mundo is Mundo dressed up as Mundo for Halloween. So that's my defense for that line. Let's see. And then Arcanist Zeref. Well, you see, I put that on my favorites list because it has been less than 5 years between the time I got my last skin plus to this skin. So therefore, it's the next best skin. And it also came with Chroma, so it's like 5 more skins for me too. So it was like Christmas all over for me. Also,
You know what?
I've been predicting the idea of like you could do a pre-ascendant Xerath, and I was thinking that was the would be really cool. You know, the pre-ascendant. That's literally my Discord icon too. I had one of my friends take a draw me a picture of a human form sort of Xerath, and that's why I have it. I like it. It's a pre-ascendant version. Just imagine him like this is what he looked like before he betrayed Azir, so that he could finally earn his freedom away from being a slave.
You know what? You've convinced me. No, it's just, I didn't realize it had been that long since Xerath had gotten a new skin. I mean, I just don't play him a ton. I think I've got Runeborn Xerath. I think Battleborn Xerath.
Battlecast.
So you know what? Battlecast Xerath. So you know what? Fair enough. I'll push it up. You've convinced me, Rex. I will right the wrong. I have moved him up into the good skins. I will. We'll let it reside here.
Nice,
so that's where I get started. There we go.
And then let's see, anything else that's good? Well, you see, God King Darius, he does the meme dance with the dog. It's great. It's funny. So that's another reason. And then everything else, I can pretty much agree with. It's new Mundo. I like it better than the old one, but still, it's pretty bad. Prestige version of the Blood Moon.
Right, that was interesting.
It's because that's his third golden skin. Like you can he has Victorious. He has the the skin line that's also that like Varus also has it. Arclight, yeah, he has like one of those Arclight skin lines. And then he also has the golden Prestige mean. So you can literally interchange all 3 of them as the same skin. And then,
that's fair enough.
Twisted Fate is just too expensive. It's legendary for the price of a Chroma. Like,
I didn't know that. I don't play a lot of TF, or I don't play hardly any TF unless I've got to. So no, I didn't realize this was legendary on your. I mean, I knew it was legacy, but legendary, had no idea. But if it's that expensive for a skin like that, it's just yeah.
It doesn't change any graphics or sound, anything. He's literally just wearing a cape in the skin, or whenever you're on the Rift, and it still costs you like a full price of a legendary.
All right, then the Leroy from Lamp is one that's got Cosmic Reaver Cassidin on here, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just I just hate the champ because every time I think the last statistics I got from League, I think I lose 80% of my games against Cassidin. I think no matter what, I just can't stand Cassidin as a champion. So any of the skin lines, I think for Cassidin, I'm like, you know what? I hate this guy. Forget him. I will also say for MG Domed, we did get the best skins for their ADC. Said that he really likes the Toxic Mundo and Assassin Yi, and so that he fans those skins, put those there. And then he also says the worst skins are every Lux skin ever made with a smiley face. So actually we'll just open this up. So these were his exact comments on that, how he feels about Lux. So Lamp, if you're looking to play tonight, who to do? Seems Lux gets underneath his skin a little bit. So there might be something you want to take into consideration when you're going and picking your lineup and picking your skins for that. Trying to see for C-Flow. And so for C-Flow was one of the guys who Mitch kind of reached out and said the also skins that he hates are also the entire Star Guardian and Battle Academia skin lines. And he says whatever Redgore likes. But so for the Star Guardian, I will say that some of those look like they may have been overdone. They are kind of money grabs, but I mean, it is Riot. They've got to make money. make money somehow. So for some of those I can see about it. Battle Academia, I think Battle Academia started off. Part of me thinks that they didn't think that they were going to make as much as they were going to, and so that's why they've kind of blown up as they has. When the first Battle Academia Alliance came out, things really kind of took off. Though I will say the one skin that they did retire very quickly. Make sure I get the skin right, otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. Da-da-da-da. See. Was the Headmistress Fiora skin. That got retired real quick. We'll not go into reasons why for that, but I think that kind of is what kind of started a lot of the Battle Academia lines from that, and we won't see any changes to that skin coming up forward. And then the one skin, actually a couple of the new skins that are a little frustrating that they did relieve that that Dogmar has reminded me of was the Space Groove Nunu. So let's pull up Space Groove Nunu. And actually, a lot of the Space Groove. Okay, Space Groove was not what I thought it was. Let's see, where is it at? Oh, I don't need to open a YouTube video. Let's just open. Good job. There we go. Space Groove Nunu. I get the concept behind it. To me, it just looks like they tried to rip off the movie Home almost. I don't know if you guys saw that. I've got kids, so I watch a bunch of basically like kid shows and stuff. And so this is what this kind of reminds me of. It's clunky, not fun skin to play. Some of the animations are off, and it's just I just think it looks great. What have you thought about some of the Space Group skins that have come out?
Okay. So Mitt's thoughts about the Space Groove. Honestly, I like the idea. I like the weirder cons. I like how they did with Nasus. How he's not even the full dog anymore. He's literally a tiny dog working in a spacesuit. And then you also have the Blitz and Crank, also a great skin. Having now he's not just a robot; he's two cats controlling a robot. I love the idea. Like, it's really far out from what it initially is, but it works out really well. But then you talk about like their other skins, like the Space Group Nunu and Space Group Gwen. It's like it kind of fits with the theme, but it's not necessarily as striking as Nasus or Blitz and Crank's skin right there. Because it has all those like sort of liquidy kind of effects, which is, I don't understand why that's a part of like Space Groovy, but I mean, sure, why not? I guess.
Right. It's a little different, and you say when you say that, and it does kind of deviate from it. And I will admit this, Dogmar, when you told me that you hated the Space Groove Nunu skin, for some reason when you said Nunu, I was thinking Nasus, and this is what I was thinking of. And like I said, like I do kind of these two skins, I do kind of like these because it's almost like the mecha kind of thing, right? It's like a dog controlling this large animatronic thing that's Nasus, and the same with the Blitzcrank here. I mean, these are fun, and they kind of lean into that. And maybe what we need instead of a Space Groove lineup is a mecha lineup. And I think we do have a mecha lineup, but actually a true actual mecha lineup where it actually looks like it's a mecha just like the Nasus here. I think there's Mecha Leona, so maybe they, instead of like the so instead of looking like this, which does look like mech all put together, you actually see like the little person inside of it, something that looks like it's being controlled by a smaller person, like maybe a smaller version of Leona, or like maybe another, like a little animal like this. I mean, this would be be kind of cool to have something like that inside of it. But I mean, some of these lineups, I think I'd like to see Riot go back to what they were doing previously in the past, where I think it did mention it before on a stream, looking like where they were almost getting borderline getting copyright strike, having Guy with the lightsaber. Some of them that look like they're trying to take rips off different movies and popular animated characters. Things that would pretty sell a little bit more. But as Riot has grown in popularity, they've had to kind of tone it just a little bit to get into things. But any thoughts, last skins, about any new skins that are coming out that you wanted to make mention of, Rex?
Let's see. Let's start with Action. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but his cyberpunk, his what's it called?
Ooh.
Cyberpop? It's something like that. It looks nice. It reminds me of what's it called? Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of reminds me of that. But honestly, I was hoping they would do more of a um moving towards a little bit of the Persona skin line. This is again touching to your point, or like don't want to touch too much over onto the other popular media characters. But since the other person that's in that lineup is Zoe, and she looks just like one of the characters from the Persona, I was like, yo, that would be really cool if they actually just made this skin line a reference skin line. But I can understand how they didn't, and he still looks good. Futuristic. He definitely does look like he belongs in 2077. And let's see any other skins coming out. I guess
Actually,
honorable mention. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you have anything to say?
well, I was gonna say about this because this is my first time seeing this, and you mentioned Cyberpunk on this, and I will say this: what I think that what they could have done in this, that really would have probably got people more hyped about this, is if they would have made at the Cyberpop Ashcon look like Keanu Reeves does in Cyberpunk.
Oh
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I
they,
guess.
I think looking at that could, I think with the hair and like the beard that he's got, that they could have pulled that off. I think they would have gotten the crap suit out of him. But I think it would have been fun, and I think it would have been fun to have one of his lines go, and you're awesome, and pointing his grappling hook at him like they did,
Yeah.
like it did at the announcement. I think that would have been great. I think they would have gotten sued, but I think it would have been well worth it. But here I am, not the multi-billion-dollar company that I am, but thinking about that.
Absolutely. And then obviously we have to do the honorable mentions for the Ruinations and Sentinel skins that are coming out now. Uh, honestly, they
Oh,
just nothing pops out specifically, but they do look very good how they are.
they aren't actually.
So let's see, Ruination lineup. We already had Draven and Shyvana come out, and Karma come out early. And then they eventually they're releasing Misfortune. I don't know who else they're adding up to the Ruination lineup alongside of them, but then they have the
What?
Sentinels lineup, which is pretty interesting for a skin line as well.
That's interesting too, and I'm interested to see who all they add to that and who they're going to rotate in and out. Karma was one I was kind of surprised to see in the Ruination lineup. I do like the skin. I think I did end up buying it. I do like the skin that they gave on that to Karma. I want to say that Thresh is going to be the one on the Ruination lineup. I heard, or were they calling it
He has
Unbound
an
Thresh?
Unbound skin, which I'm assuming
Unbound,
that just means that he's also a part of the uh,
right?
Ruination lineup,
Because
anyways.
right, because he's already under Ruination. Yeah, here we go. And so, and this is another skin that again is like, it's almost, I don't want to say previously like what he was, because I mean Spirit Blossom kind of gives that look into it. So this is almost kind of a mix in between the two. But one thing that I do wish they would do for Thresh, and there's been some arguments on this in the past, has been whether or not he floats or walks, because he does float for a good little bit when he's first leaving the fountain, then he starts walking. But so I wish I do part of me just kind of wish they would make him just kind of float back and forth, because he does kind of seem like he would have that, kind of that, it would add more, I guess, of an evilish appearance to him. Malevolent is what I'm looking for. A presence to him. But they definitely get some fun skins coming out. And with being in the mid-year that we are right now, what victorious skins are you hoping, or champs that you hope get the victorious skin for this year?
Chance to get the Victoria skin this year? Ah, jeez.
Hmm.
Well, okay. Something that I would think would be funny, but they'll absolutely not do Udyr, just because he had a strong presence early on in this
Ooh.
season. But they would
Okay.
absolutely not do him because he's getting a rework, so they had to design two skins back to back, basically. Like,
Thanks.
but that would be interesting just because he had such a strong impact in the earlier seasons. Same with Hecarim,
Hmm.
honestly. He had a pretty strong impact, but he's definitely has fallen off now. So no specific champion that really like pops out at me for like lasting sort of impacts. But I would also be interesting for lore wise if they do Victorious Viego and it's him, but not ruined, not the ruined king. He's a victorious king.
You know what? I don't like Diego as a champ, but after hearing that, he's the victorious king, into that, I think that'd be a fun twist on the lore, and to see him actually come to it. So that's what we've got for the Summer Splash. Thanks you guys for tuning in. We will be back next Tuesday with a little bit of a recap of the playoffs and looking forward to what's going to be happening next week. Right now, we're going to take a very short 5-minute break as we gear up to cast MG Domed versus Lamp.
So don't get anywhere. We'll be right back.
sir.
Hello, hello. Hey guys. It's Let's Go Dragon here, but and it's also going to be Seiko, but not only that, we have ourselves a little bit of and well, we have my dad.
It's Vid, baby. Vid is here. I had work, so I couldn't make the first part of the stream, but I'm here for the second part, and this is really the important one. It's MG Domed versus Lampost.
Yeah, and we talked a little about this, about what we think about this, or at least me and Seiko did. But since you just came around here, what are your thoughts about this matchup for MG Domed versus the Lamppost?
Well, I'm gonna level with you. I have not watched either of these teams. So what I'm here to do is talk fast, get hype, watch this Viego pick, and then Jin Zhao counter pick, which I totally expected. Both of these champions are ridiculously strong, and both of them are totally worthy of taking first pick and leaving the second one up. But the Tahm Kench is something that I was not expecting.
Oh yeah, this is going to be the new Tahm Kench, however, so it's going to be interesting to see. I haven't actually seen anyone play the new Tahm Kench. I haven't touched League in a little bit, and I will be, seeing how well that the new Tahm Kench works out. I'm curious if it's going to be, if he's viable top lane, or if he's going to be still strictly bot lane. I feel like the main reason why he was pretty strong top lane was because his Devour just did so much damage, but it moved his Devour away, so maybe it's a little bit more balanced, too.
Yeah, I have seen the Tahm Kench a few times, albeit mostly in ARAMs. Go ahead and flame me, guys. And the first time I did see it, I didn't even know he had gotten reworked, or they had changed him up a bit. And so when I saw him just bopping up here and there, I was just like, okay, this is kind of crazy. And so I can see how they may have tweaked it a little bit, but I mean, it will be interesting to see how he's going to interact into it. And on MG Dome side, we see they've locked in Set and Senna, both also really strong champs for right now for team play.
Yeah, I am interested though at the Senna. I'm going to assume that's a naked pick, no support with it, because Set support just doesn't really work anymore. As well, I think Set works really well into Tahm Kench top lane. Tahm Kench has a little bit of good engage, being able to jump in like that with his new W. They shifted around his Devour and his Abyssal Dive. But Set, beats up these tanky, low mobility guys that can't get out of his haymaker. I'm assuming that's the counter pick, and Tahm Kench definitely going top now with the Leona locked in as we get into the second ban phase.
Ooh, that is going to be good. It's all about supports right now. It is very much a tank meta, and having Leona and Tahm Kench both locked in on that side, they're going to have a heavy, beefy front line on the side of Lamp for sure.
But I wonder what we'll see in response to all of this super heavy sort of tank. We already have top lane locked in, so it's not like we're going to see like Gwen or anything like that. And we have Senna locked in, so we're not going to necessarily see... Well, she could go as a support and then still have a pretty strong sort of ADC that kind of melts some of these tanks. But it's still going to be interesting to see how they plan to respond to all of this. Over to the side of MG Domed with, these two tanks, plus the Jin Zhao, which is just kind of like a menace that's walking around with a stick.
I will say that looking at some of the bans that are here, what do you guys think about seeing the Ezreal ban? It looks like they've banned quite a few ADCs on the side of MG Dome, but as far as the ADCs are here, Jinx, hyperscaling, really strong late game. Forgot the one with the eye patches, her name off the top of my head, and Aphelios, but those Samira, but those two very strong ADCs, and those I'm not surprised to see those banned. But the Ezreal does kind of surprise me. That's not one that I would see would normally pop off or be able to really hyper carry a game late game.
And especially for Levi as well. Like, Ezreal is a very strong mid-game ADC, and just the fact that it's kind of an engage meta, engage and assassins being so prevalent right now, Ezreal being just a safe, easy self-peel ADC makes him a really valuable pick. But I'm interested that they banned the Ezreal and left the Caitlyn, especially through 2 rounds. Levi is very well known for his Caitlyn pick, mostly back in gold when he played ADC, but he did do a stint in platinum, and he showed off that he can still carry games as Caitlyn, especially with someone as tanky, high engage as Leona as his support. So we will have to see what MG Dome do. They will pick up the Victor for the mid lane, the Alistar support to round it out, So they now have a pretty good mix of burst and DPS, a little bit of tank, a little bit of everything on this team comp. And Lamp gets the counter pick.
And I will say, having played with Levi a bit in a plat several splits ago, I will say, can't confirm. ADC is something that he is not no slouch at. Especially something like the Caitlyn, you get the Leona that can set up the stun right away. You put the trap down right underneath them, and you get the headshot. And so, I mean, it's going to be, that's a pretty dangerous combo in the bot lane right away. So based on draft right now and what we're looking at, I'm going to give the edge to Lamp in this one so far.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that statement as well. And I mean, typically I feel like Riot has been slowly pushing away from the Enchantress sort of supports, so we've been seeing a little bit more of the tankier ones, or maybe some that just do a really good job at engaging with other supportive abilities like a long range CC or whatnot, like Morgana. But in any case here, them having two tanky boys, a fighter, which is still pretty tanky for the Xin Zhao, and then alongside the Echo, to really get some really strong dives in. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out for Lamp. It's a very strong, it definitely is a very strong team composition for themselves as well. So I am going to be, I'm going to be on the lookout to see how well MG Dome can really counteract this, because they don't really have any sort of like tank sort of killing on their teams. They have a little bit of innate sort of stuff, but it's not too much unless Viego decides to go a little bit on hit, which I think his build is not on hit right now.
Right, they've got now I'm wondering if that's going to be Senna, Alistar bot lane. Chat's asking if it's going to be Senna and Seth. I don't think it'll be that. But being Senna and Alistar bot lane is going to be interesting. It'll be, I mean, it's, and Viego has a slew of champs to pick from to take their champs literally from them and, get them going. But we're entering the live draft phase, and we've got our fun little 3 minutes go from there. And then on the tournament draft, we'll at least be able to see what champs are going in what phases and or what lanes, and then we'll be able to, really put the final things down. Seraphine is a champ, I will admit. When she first came out, a little bit more of a, I want to say, beefier Sona with a lot of her AoE stuff. But I will say, as I've played her more and more, she is probably one of the more versatile support-ish or mage control champs that are out.
Well, and it's funny because Rex was talking about we lost this Enchanter meta. We've basically gone back to engage, tanky boys, and then you've got things like Leona, Alistar, the Morgana that he pointed out. But at the end of the day, it was really Seraphine that took the Enchanter meta and then nerfed it into the ground. Between the Moonstone and the Imperial Mandate, no one really liked Seraphine. No one really liked playing against Enchanters, especially with that long-range Encore that she gets. So you could probably say that Seraphine was a large contributor in the fact that we now have a much tankier bot lane in the cards right now. So that is.
I will say Go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to say that is confirmed to be the Set versus Tom Kench top. I think there were a couple of question marks in chat about that.
Yep.
But as I said, I think that's a really good matchup here for MG Domed. They've got the Set against the Tom Kench, and he does the extra % health. He has the extra shred from his Haymaker, and that will be Senna Alistar in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I will say, of the Enchantress supports, or I guess Enchanter supports, now in the bottom lane that are, pretty somewhat viable. Lulu is probably the only one that I would say that you could still kind of get away with. But she has a very utility-based kit. And so even with that, she can go kind of tank, but I mean, her ability to CC, knock up with the ults, she is one of the Enchantresses that I think still is very much viable. But she needs to be paired with the right comp. Now, in this kind of setup scenario, probably wouldn't be very, very good unless you've got a high dive team comp. But of Enchantresses, she's one that could possibly still be used. Now, my girl, my waifu, Nami, probably not. But I would still probably play her anyway, just because I don't know how to play anybody else. But Lulu, I'd say it's still very much viable.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Lulu with that polymorph is just too strong to kind of ignore in pretty much any meta, really, just because of how versatile it is. You can use it to give your ADC extra attack speed, so if you're doing Lulu Cog, it just works so well. Sorry about that. I'm dying, choking on my own spit. Ah.
Well, then I'll fill in and I'll say I actually am. Now that you pointed out, I have not seen a Nami in forever. I mean, she's just kind of dropped like a rock out of the meta. Maybe her swim bladder popped or something. But
Ouch. Sir, please. I'm actually going to Eugene right now just to look at the tier list that's there for supports, and we'll say platinum. See what we got right here.
well,
Let's see. Yeah, Lulu S plus, Leona S plus, Thresh S plus. Nami is she's A, but she's 15th underneath Zillion, Morgana, Bard, Senna. Like a lot of them are up there. And so yeah, Seraphine's down on the B, and then D supports Karma and Sep, but that's again, this is platinum up.
yeah, and back to the game at hand, as we're still waiting for that spectator delay to tick down. We're at about 2 minutes now. The Victor versus Echo matchup is one that I want to see, because this is a very hard matchup for Echo for about 4 levels, and then pretty much after he gets his Hextech alternator, it's going to be a lot easier for him. He'll have to dodge his way out of the magnetic field, but other than that, Echo should have a fairly easy time getting either getting lane pressure or just being able to roam. Victor doesn't have super good wave clear until he gets that first item, that first full mythic.
And PQ Twitch TV, you say MGD wins draft. I'm actually siding with Lamp in this one. I think they've got a little bit stronger engage with the combo that Levi and Leona have got, with Echo being able to get in and out quickly, and with engage and disengage that Tom Kinch is going to bring to the table, and with just how strong Xin Zhao is. I think Lamp, in my opinion, still after looking at this, where the lanes are going to, I'm still giving the edge to Lamp, but we'll see how the interactions are gonna go here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we still have to also keep in mind that MG Dome does have a sub in for their jungler, so this is Ponyboy being the sub on Viego in the jungle. It's going to be really questionable, or not questionable, but we're going to keep our eyes out for Ponyboy and see how well he does. If he, you know, this might just be like a god tier sort of jungler. He's going to be roaming around all parts of the map. He's going to get his team head early and just starts dominating this game before the tanks and ADC can scale up. Or maybe it'll be the complete opposite side, and we just see him farming still at 30 minutes in the game.
Yeah, and we saw the same matchup on Tuesday. The Xin Zhao versus the the sub Viego. It did not work out very well for the Viego. Xin Zhao having such a good early game. When you try and funnel your sub jungler who's when you're trying to funnel your sub jungler who's maybe a little bit inexperienced with the team, it probably doesn't go well when you lose early.
Yeah, just looking at the sub here, looks like he doesn't have a lot of Viego games. Looks like it's way more Hecarim than anything. Just pull up his mastery here. He's only got just under 5,000 mastery points on Viego. Last time we played him was today, so probably just getting a couple of practice games. And actually, it was his ranked game that he played 11 hours ago. Is the only Viego game that he's got in the last several games. So the man has not touched Viego in quite some time. So maybe a strong champ, but he, little, I won't say noob, but is versatile, plays jungle a lot, but Viego, not a champ that he really puts a lot of time into.
So, like I said, it's going to be something we have to keep on the lookout for. I mean, maybe he'll just have enough knowledge and, a good baseline of understanding of how Viego works that it just works out very fine in any case. But for now, we'll just get loading into the game here. You guys want to try to start off with our introductions? You want to do vid for over the side of MG Dome?
Oh yeah, on the blue side, we do have MG Domed. We got Dobbin in the top lane on Set, Ponyboy in the jungle on Viego, Took It Personally in the mid lane on Victor, and Flying Squirtle and Sokarch on Senna and Alistar.
And then Seiko, you want to do the other side?
All right, in Lampost, we have Slap in the top lane on Tom Kinch, Death Grips in the jungle on Xin Zhao, The Leroy on Echo in the mid lane, and the bot lane we have not Levi, who is Levi, but not Levi, on Kalen, and then The Randy Newman Randy Newman on Leona.
Yeah, gonna be looking like a warfare. Everyone staying on their respective sides, no one really crossing over. We're sitting in bushes, but that's pretty much it. So we might probably just have a little bit of a boring early game. Oh, Ponyboy trying to something a little out there, but doesn't look like
Looks like they're going to be going. Yeah, looks like they're going for the Starvation in the bot lane. Senna taking the Spectral Sickle, and then Alistar taking the Doran Shield.
I'm not surprised. I mean, Alistar does do a pretty good job compared to other melee, like traditional supports. He does do a fairly good job at taking those CS because he does have a little bit higher base AD, but more importantly, he has the sustain on his E. Or is that his passive now? I can't remember ever since they switched it up.
passive.
But since he's got that sustain, it makes it a lot easier to walk into something like a Caitlyn and Leona. So he just needs to sit tight for a couple of levels, get a little bit of tank stats, and then start tanking up, some of that damage.
And as far as the early warning goes, it looks like that they've the MG Dome has a pretty good ward over by the Raptors top side. Lamp got one just on the other side of the river in the bottom, but it looks like there's two blue wards got down, I think in pretty good spots. Lamp probably not as great early warding as they probably should have gotten done, but we'll see how those wards are going to pan out for them.
Yeah, absolutely do need to be on the lookout for that. And something I do want to point out here, this is going to be Glacial Augment for the Senna here. Haven't seen just a little bit here. Glacial Augment definitely like probably the go-to choice if you want to do fasting. But ooh, level 2.
Good interrupt there by Sokarch.
Fantastic. I was going to say that Glacial Augment's Senna, that's something I haven't seen in a hot minute.
I've always preferred Glacial Augment Senna to the to that whatever it is, Grasp of the Undying tankier Senna. Oh,
Sokarch's going pretty low there. That was almost. Oh, is this gonna be it for Senna? Nope,
yeah, and there is the bump back by Randy Newman. Keeps Flying Squirtle alive. He doesn't even need to use his heal. Good on that.
Ooh, sheesh, that was getting quite close on that one right there. I was on the edge of my seat for that one with Flying Squirrel. He almost fell down there, but I think he got a little bit of a heal from Sokarch, or he has Time Warp Tonic. One of the two, and he managed to get enough health in order to survive through that ignite.
But overall, the bot lane is going pretty much as expected here for MG Domed. They just don't have any kind of presence here against a Caitlyn Leona, especially since they lost that level 2. But now, a little bit of brawling going on as Slappy goes quite low. Ponyboy can come over the wall. He has found the Leroy, who is stunned, taking damage. First blood for the Viego.
Well done on that one. That went a lot better than our previous. If you saw, like I said, whenever last we saw a Viego into a Xin Zhao matchup, that went way better than the previous one that we saw. Managed to take first bloods for the Viego's team instead, and that's pretty good.
And now Slappy is actually going quite low, but dealing a lot of damage to Dobbin as well.
It's a lot of minion aggro.
Yeah, taking some minion aggro, but both top laners will be very low. Death Grips is hovering around, possibly looking for something here on Dobbin, but I think Dobbin's got his spidey senses tingling, backing off in the top lane.
Rightly so. I mean, you have the Xin Zhao right there sitting there. He is still in the area, but you gotta be careful of that. Overall, the interaction did went out pretty well over for the side. Oh, still trying to go for it. I'm for these people in the mid lane.
Slappy? Slappy?
Oh.
Alright, there goes Slappy.
And now a gank in the bot lane is going to force Levi's flash, but Sokarch's going to go down immediately. Here comes the Leroy into the bot lane. He's looking for Ponyboy. Ponyboy is looking for Levi, who has flashed, has healed. Ponyboy goes down. Leroy with his first kill of the game. 2-2 here for Lampost as Flying Squirtle flashes away, but Leroy's still on the chase. Running him down. He's rooted. Not quite under tower, though. Flying Squirtle will get away with his life and not much else.
Pretty close encounter on that one as well. It was looking pretty good over for side of MG Domed, but until Ponyboy committed a little too hard over not Levi. Not Levi doing a great job at making sure he all down. that easily, at least, to the Viego, and having to burn both sums, but it's fine because, I mean, now they get the dragon priority.
And Levi just showing his proficiency on the Caitlyn, getting the traps like he needed to, able to recognize the TP coming in, able to get out. I do want to go back a minute to the Slappy and Dobbin interaction up there. I mean, one of the things with the change of the Tom Kinch, well, the changes they made to him is that being able to go in and out this journey in and out. Dobbin able to predict where he's going to and able to pick up the kill from that. And then just looking at the gold down on the bottom lane, I mean, there is a little bit more of a discrepancy growing, even though the Levi did get the kills. But even before then, I was going to say there's probably a 600 gold difference, or not 600, but 400 gold difference just in the CSing alone. And it seems like Sin is going to have to get some kills to be able to get back into the game, because I think the starving Sin that they're doing, I don't think may work out for him, but we'll see what happens.
The ultimate by Slappy will pull Dobbin back, and now the W committed.
Ooh.
As both members go very low. Dobbin, however, gets the better end of that trade. Oh, the flash forward. He's under the tower. He doesn't have the W. Not quite enough damage. He will not find the kill onto Slappy. And now the teleport committed here by the mid laner. Took it personally. He's down here. Randy Newman taking a lot of damage. He might go down. Took it personally. Will find that kill as Dobbin takes the solo on the top lane yet again.
You think he took it personally?
Well, I mean, he had to teleport down there and cue Randy Newman, so I would say he took that kill very personally.
Yeah, I saw Leroy went bot lane. He was like, wait, I can do that too. But, I mean, it's not as impactful as the last one, but still, nonetheless, it is going to be impactful now that the mid lane is going to be somewhat evened out. Still have Turkish personally with the CS lead, though.
Oh, but watch out. The Leroy's here. He will not find a stun. He's looking to go in, but he can't get anything through the mist. Leroy tossing that Q as Death Grips will zone away. Ponyboy doesn't want to go into this 4v3.
Of course, doing a great job using that Alistar knockup just as a disengage, interrupting things that are happening instead of getting the head, but still holding on to that for a last-minute resort of knocking people away. So Sokarsh doing a good job. Killing for his ADC and teammates, keeping them alive, preventing from any CC getting it down bot lane. And now we see is that little snafu earlier from the bot lane gank from Viego coming on down. We see that MG Dome starting to try to turn things around in their favor.
Yeah,
they are up with a 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, pulling ahead with that 2,000 gold lead. Most of that is probably on Dobbin here with the 2-kill differential. The bot lane, as we said before, Flying Squirtle is a little bit behind in gold thanks to those kills that went on to Levi. But Skokarch, the fasting Alistar, as proclaimed in the chat, is one of the smooth brain ideas I've seen out of these teams. You're not wrong, you're just mean about it.
It's one of these things when I recognized that it was going to be the starving sin, I was going to say it's not that it's. I want to say that it's not bad, but it's something that you really haven't seen in a long time. So it's something you see very often, and there's a reason behind it. So I'm hoping that they've practiced this a bit in scrims or maybe on alt accounts. But we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe they kind of expected this early on. They know, well, we just got to get her into the game and then she'll get going. But they've got to not feed the other team or them too much while she's getting into it.
Yeah,
I just personally don't see the benefit of fasting Senna with the farming Alistar, because fasting Senna, it doesn't, it's good. It's good gold, gold wise. It gets gold value from stats, but it's not it's not head and shoulders above what the farming Senna gets. And wow, took it personally. He is taking it in the mid lane. He will have to flash away, but 2 ultimates committed here.
Real close engage there. Very close. Took personally had to use his flash, and the Flying Squirtle as a precautionary, also using the ulti there. Not going to have that up for a little bit of time. So this bot lane is actually a little kind of weak. They do have all sums up for both sides, but we have to be careful here. Didn't necessarily have the stats to really try to check not Levi and Randy Newman right now, just because.
Ponyboy does manage to steal away that red buff, but here comes the Leroy, and the stun, the kill. Leroy takes that one. Now Dobbin trying to find what he can onto Death Grip. Slappy gonna devour away. The killing spree coming down with Leroy, if not Levi flashing away as Randy Newman commits one summoner spell. He has the second available, not Levi. Gonna channel the ace in the hole. Randy Newman flashing forward. It will not find the stun onto Flying Squirtle, and now the flash forward by Flying Squirtle. Sokarch will take the kill. It's a barely one fight across the map here for MG Domed.
All right, you know what? Honestly, that's my bad. Sorry I said anything about the bot lane. I thought, and thinking that Levi and Randy Newman was a little bit stronger in the stat checks, but I guess not. I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
I think what happened there. I think Randy Newman may have engaged a little bit too early there, but still, I mean, Sokarch really using that. I think he's waiting for Leona to engage on him first, and then stop the engage, and then they're countering it. And so I think once they realize that that's what's happening, things might start going a little bit better for Levi. But until that happens, they're just waiting for the engage from Leona, then disengaging, and then turning the tables on them. And so, I mean, good job on Sokarch and using the Alistar's abilities to just counter that and then get them back in the lead.
Although Flying Squirtle might be in trouble, Randy Newman using that ultimate, and he has the Squirtle locked down. Death Grips is knocked away. Flying Squirtle, though, does not have Flash. He'll get jumped on by the Leroy, and that'll be all she wrote. And there goes the cow as well. We're having ground beef tonight, boys.
Yeah, with that beef dead, it's going to be another dragon possibly over for the side of Lampost. This is going to be their second dragon, and moving on forward to the Dragon Soul possibly, but Ponyboy's trying for it.
Oh!
Gets it, but Death Grips does get the W into following up with the audacious charge to finish him off there. Losing a life for a dragon, but hey, now they don't have to fight as hard for this next dragon.
Yeah, that was very aggressive. Probably shouldn't have flashed, just knowing that Xin Zhao can, press a button and follow you over, and that you were dead anyways, but good steal there by Ponyboy.
Where did they find this up? He's pretty nice with it.
He's pretty nice with it, but Death Grips now chasing down took it personally, who has the Chaos Storm. Will he commit it to try and kill this Xin Zhao? He will, and he will find it. Now Dobbin chasing down the Leroy, who doesn't have the Chrono Break. The flash forward, Leroy! Dobbin's on a rampage, and now Slappy teleporting in right into the waiting arms of the top and the mid laner of MG Dome. Watch out, watch out, watch out! Slappy, he's gonna go on the run, guts over the wall, but took it personally. Will follow him over the E, the burst. Randy Newman taking some damage, and both guys standing there stunned at each other, and finally you take down the tanky boy. Randy Newman finally gets away with a sliver of health.
Well, you see right there, Randy Newman going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, just, he's trying to go in, doesn't know if he needs to go in or not, and just, it was trying to wait for Slappy to get to the plant so they could get over the wall. But, I mean, just really should have just made a decision if he was going to stay or go, and ended up just being not a great engage for Lampost.
And picking up a third, or I guess fourth kill on the back end. Death Grips dying yet again. And here goes yet another, as MG Domed is just running away with this early game.
Who's this Ponyboy guy? Dude, I feel like he's... Randy Newman gone in a little AFK, and now he's gonna burn his solar flail. Maybe he'll be able to survive, trapping the Senna into tower range, get the second shot off. There it is! Now for Randy Newman, chasing out Sokarch. Oh, here comes Ace in the hole. There it is.
I'm so disappointed in that, in what just happened.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I will not elaborate any further. I'm just disappointed.
No, it's okay. I'll elaborate for you. It's fine. Yeah, Randy Newman first being a little AFK, walking straight into the tower and not realizing there's two other guys on top of him, and then those two other guys not realizing there's a tower on top of him. Not exactly the brightest of plays that we've seen so far out of this plat, but hey, it's fine. I mean, Randy, you got yourself a kill, and you gave a kill to over Levi to help him scale club so you can beat out this Flying Squirrel. Congratulations.
And now we're looking at only a 300 gold difference between Senna and Caitlyn, and but the top lane is really where the gap is at between Set and the rest of the team. I mean, the gold that's being piled on top of the mid lane and top lane for MG Dome. Victor and Set looking on some pretty hefty bounties right now. 500 gold bounty on Victor, 400 gold bounty on Sets, as these guys are starting to run away with their lanes.
And now Dobbin, it looks like he's gonna go for, no, he
Ooh.
won't be able to find the tower. And now Slappy fighting him off. He gets the stun. Dobbin will pull him back. He has some healing, but not enough to counter the Bramble Vest. Slappy flashes and gets the shutdown. Solo kill. Now in the bot lane, Sokarch moving forward. He's going to knock away Not Levi. Flying Squirtle does not get stunned by the Solar Flare. Randy Newman now has to get the heal from Levi to survive. It is a great trade of summoners here. And Not Levi, he might have stepped too far forward. Flying Squirtle! Man flashes forward, no fear, finds a kill. He might get a second here on Randy Newman. Double kill. Leroy will not find the stun. He gets knocked up. He has the chrono break, but he won't need it to kill the cow. Now he's trying to chase down Flying Squirtle, but will the Senna be caught? Does not look like either of them want any of this business.
That had to have been right on the edge of the turret range. I thought for sure when the Senna had stopped right there to finish off Caitlyn, he was right. He had to have been right on the edge of that. That is incredible positioning by Flying Squirtle.
Great flash in by Ponyboy. He will help find the kill here onto Slappy. Meanwhile, the Leroy's in trouble. It's a 3-for-0 across both side lanes here for MG Domed.
What's happening across the map? I'm so confused. Like
People are dying.
You know what? That's a great explanation. Thank you. Okay. So, seeing that people have died indeed, Flying Squirtle, it looks like this fasting set, Alistar Senna is out, but not in the ways that you necessarily think about it, because you always think that fasting Senna doesn't necessarily have these breaking points at this point in the game, at least. You would think it would be just a little bit later, because you have that sort of infinite scaling when the souls really start catching up and allows you to really take advantage of your, not using all that money and change it for purely just stats. It would just be a little later parts of the game, like at least out after the Mythic, I would think, just because the Mythic is just a big power boost, but it looks like it's not the case.
And now Ponyboy can take some damage, uses the Unstoppable to get on Death Grip. Slappy comes in with the knockup. Ponyboy in trouble. He's got 2 men on him, jumped on with the Devour. He will be chomped. Slappy finds the kill, and now we have Set coming in. Watch out, watch out. He will find the ult, but he will die instead. The Leroy goes down in a double for I Took It Personally, using that zap. Now Levi, he's going for it. He does not find Squirtle, and Took It Personally is coming in. Cleanup crew flashes forward. He just needs an E. He just needs to land an E or a Q. Auto attacks will do it as well. An ace for MG Domed.
So that. Go ahead first.
So your Lampost looking at this, you're down almost 2 towers in the, or I guess 3 towers and none. You've got 2 dragons taken away from you. You're down, a little almost 10,000 gold. What do you do as Lampost to try and stall and get back into this game?
God, well,
The thing
first
is-
start this fight.
Yeah, the fight comes through.
Can you?
Sokarch will go down first. Randy Newman, I think he's trying to stick onto Flying Squirtle. As I Took It Personally, just blows Death Grip's head right off. The Leroy has to chrono break away, and Randy Newman, he's going away, but he might be dead here. Double kill as Leroy goes low, goes down. Flying Squirtle is fearless. He's walking under the tower to try and kill Not Levi. He may have bit off more than he could chew. Not Levi, one more auto attack will do it, and the shutdown coming through. Took It Personally on the run. He will get knocked up. He will get ace in the hold. He will stop that with the Zanyas, and Ponyboy now chasing down Slappy. Did the frog go too far? The ult over the wall, and it looks like Ponyboy will be finding Slappy for his 3rd kill of the game as MG Dome turns a bad situation into a better one.
Well, it was starting to look like a little bit of a comeback for Lampost right there. I mean, it was tight when Levi able to take on Flying Squirtle right there in pretty much a 1v1 scenario with just straight auto attacks back and forth, even though we have Not Levi down a little bit in terms of items. But it looks like he was able to take that one out. But then, we just really can't down Took It Personally. Took It Personally is just at 700 gold bounty right now. He has a lot of gold on his head, and he's just not falling. He had the Zonias ready. He has all this damage underneath his belt, but you really can't focus him whenever Flying Squirtle's also doing quite a bit of damage too, and it's really breaking up some of his team fights because you're focusing two different sort of targets for Lampost. But hopefully they can unify a little bit and take an one idea is like we're gonna burst down one of their carries first, and then we'll slowly kill the other guy.
And you were asking what the win condition is here for the Lamppost. Well, this is a good start, and this will not get cursed the same way that it did last time, although Flying Squirtle seems damned to prove me wrong. He's going to move forward and get a lot of damage off onto Death Grips as Skokarch fights it on the backside. Flying Squirtle, though, bit off more than he could chew. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's not quite dead yet. Skokarch catches the ace in the hole as the double kill comes through. Slappy taking damage. Leroy, he will have the Chrono Break available, but he will not use it just quite yet. Slappy gonna devour the Victor. Victor will not die. He's 15-0, and Leroy dies for yet another ace. God damn it, MG Dome. You made me eat my words.
We really just gotta stop talking a bit. I mean, there's a reason why I call you Dad. I didn't realize it's this. That, we just cast a curse every single play we're talking about, and now NG Dome's just running it down through this mid lane.
NG Dome just bursting him down faster than they can get to him. The peel coming out of Sokarch, Flying Squirtle using the great CC from Senna to slow him down, slowing from the Glacial Augment, just piercing through Lamppost, just stopping them in their tracks before they're even able to get to him. I mean, this is just not turning out the way it's going to. We talked about, the draft going in the favor of Lamppost, but I mean, NG Dome seems to have been well aware of what they were getting themselves into.
Absolutely. And now we're moving on over towards the Baron pit here. We're going to be starting it up because they just feel so confident. They have two inhibitors down on the top and mid lane, so if you really want to push for this Baron, or trying to steal away, it's a little bit precarious, and they're slow again. They're not going to be in there in time. Looks like it's going to be Baron for the MG Domed. And, well, now we have to start turtling up now for Lampost.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if there's much to turtle on, though. They're missing two inhibitors. The Ocean Drake comes up in a second, and there's nothing that Lampost can do to stop it. They aren't even making a move to try and steal it away. And MG Dome, I'm not even sure if they want it. They might just run it down mid lane and try and end here because they know that they are 13,000 gold in the lead, 7 turrets to nothing. And they have a 15-0 Victor who has pretty much proved immortal this entire game.
Do you leave the Victor up next game, or do you take it away?
See, I'm a little scared of it, I'll be honest.
I'm scared of it, but at the same time, we criticized the draft, and I think the criticisms still stand here in the draft for MG Dome. I think Ponyboy absolutely played very well on a late game or an early game weak champion like Victor, but I will be cut off as the team fight starts. It is 3 members in the back. They're all trying to go for Took It Personally, but he is taking it personally. Leroy will get him very low, but will he be able to finish him off? Slappy is almost dead in the backside. Leroy cannot finish the kill. He has just run tail between his legs. Levi's got the ace in the hole, but the Nexus is going to fall first as MG Dome take out game 1.
What a game 1. I'm pretty much left speechless after that one. That was, whew. That was quite the game that we just saw out of that one. I mean, MG Dome played it just really well. In general, just played that game really well.
Looking at the damage charts from the game, Set third most damage on the MG Dome team, but Victor and Senna, damage charts coming across from those almost doubling that of Echo and Caitlyn. Just incredible damage output from an MG Dome. Little disappointed some of the CC that we're seeing coming in there. The majority of the CC, so Portal, almost the highest damage on the team, but also the highest CC on the team coming from that Glacial Augment. Just great performance from him on the Senna. So starving Senna worked for him. The team came around them. They had a little rough start early, but ended up pulling it out. Just, my gosh.
Well, a big game here by MG Dome, taking it over Lamppost. We will have another game coming up, so we'll be back in just a minute as we get reset for draft number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back at it. We're here. We just saw an amazing game one from MG Dome versus Lamp. MG Dome, absolutely, as they say in their words, with the pitcher, get Dome done on Lampost for that first game. But it's still early on. This is best of 3 series. This is game 2 right now. And same sides, but bans coming out here. We're seeing Jinx, Seraphine, and Hecarim already banned out alongside Morgana.
Yeah, it looks like nothing really changing here for MG Dome. They know that the last draft worked for them, even though it didn't work in pretty much everyone's minds. So they're going to continue banning the same things. We do see Lamp take away the Viego, and for pretty good reason. Ponyboy did put up a pretty good game on that, helping rotate around and make sure that that Victor and that set were pushing their leads further.
Yeah. Honestly, I do agree that the Viego was a pretty strong pick, but banning away the Viego just means that now you don't have the opportunity to pick up the Xin Zhao anymore, which is going to be difficult to find a jungler that is, comparable with how Xin Zhao and Viego really do right now in the meta. So I'm curious to see what they're going to be pulling out here for Death Grips on whatever they do choose. We still have a couple more seconds on debating on whatever they want, but we are going to be locking in that Lulu pick. We were talking about it earlier in the first draft.
Hey, that's kind of a surprise compared to what they had earlier. Maybe they're expecting a little bit more protection in CC, a little bit more utility out of Randy Newman. That's certainly going to be an interesting addition to the lineup.
Yeah, we did talk about that Lulu in the last draft and during that 3-minute spectator delay. So really what we're expecting here is more of a hyper carry for Levi. Probably not the Caitlyn. They don't work super great together. Lulu
Mhm.
really wants a less mobile, more, stand still and gun him down kind of carry like a Kog'Maw, although that would be absolute insanity to pick Kog'Maw into
Ooh.
Xin.
Well, if your back's against the wall and you're gonna go glass cannon, wouldn't you want something like that? I mean, you're like, if this last game they're down one game, they lose this, they're done, they're out of the tournament, and so I mean, why not go for something like that right now?
Well,
What?
because it sucks for one. It really sucks into a Samira.
Yeah, absolutely. Samira is
Yikes!
going to be locked in. Nocturne also locked in over for the Lamppost. Nocturne, actually, I forgot he existed, honestly, with the Strikebreaker nerf, but I still think he's pretty good. I still think he's pretty good because it still does 100% of your total AD. That's a lot of damage. Still 40% slow. For your fear. I think it's a decent item at the very least on Nocturne, so maybe he is going to be comparable enough for the Zenziao to fight with, but nonetheless is also going to be the next option for MG Domed.
And MG Dome sticking with the tanky boy meta in the bot lane. If Nautilus is gonna go there, I'd be surprised if he goes anywhere else. So it'll be interested. Samir Nautilus, that's that scares me looking at that. But Zaya, a good picker for the ADC. She'll pair pretty well with Lulu, be able to get her up and out. And Zaya also have her own kind of get out of jail free card with her ult. Be interested to see how those two are going to pair up in the bot lane against Samir and Nautilus.
We're gonna see that Victor band. No surprise there.
Yeah,
Mild shock.
I'm surprised it actually went through this long until we actually saw the Victor like taken away from NG Dome. I felt like the Victor was super potent last game, especially he got a single roam off that TP bot lane to kill Randy Newman, and then it was just it just kind of snowballed its way over.
Yeah, I actually do like that they saved the Victor ban for here because there are a lot of things that I think Leroy could play to very specifically counter Victor. Kind of it doesn't matter if I'm super useless, if I can make you more useless than me. And Victor is one of those champs that, like, as long as you shut him down and you can let your team carry, you can still win the game. So Lampost, they also have that like final contingency because they are red side. They do get the final counter pick against whatever MG Dome picks here, and they'll pick a nice, good weak side top laner in the Scion.
Definitely like the sound pick way more than the Tom Kinch. Tom Kinch top lane with rework he got into the set it just didn't work. I mean, he got him into the turret range here and there, but overall it just was not a great matchup top lane. But it'll be going into Renekton, and we're gonna have some tanky boys up in the top lane for sure.
Yeah, Renekton, interesting pickup here. I don't know if you still build Blade Rune King on him because I just haven't seen Renekton in forever. But in any case, it's still going to be interesting to see. I believe you would probably build like Ordrink, I don't know, just because it's like stacked on top of your Q healing. It would just be huge. But in any case, it is going to be something to look out for. And Renekton is a decently strong, and he can get onto Zaya. Although Zaya does have a couple get out of jail free cards up her sleeve, and TF is also going to be locked in here for the last pick of MG Dome.
I do love this Twisted Fate pick here. Lamp saving their last pick, their counter pick for their mid laner, and MG Dome says, well, you know what? Screw your mid lane. You can pick whatever you want, really, because as soon as I hit 6, I'm going to focus on getting this Renekton ahead, getting this Samira fed, and this is not a team for Lampost that you want Samira to be fed into. Lulu has a lot of ways to interrupt with that wild growth. Zaya has self-peel, but really neither of those things get you out of the way of a Death Blossom.
It looks like it's going to be Syndra is going to be locked in as the last one, and I am going to laugh if MG Dome does run with Magnificent Twisted Fate just to spite you, Rex.
Well, you know what? If he does run the Donwam Gaming, I am going to just cry on stream. That's just how it is. It's just how it happens. But in reality, there is some good Twisted Fate skins. I do enjoy the High Noon one. That one's nice and subtle. I like it. Let's see. We got the Underworld like the Underworld TF skin. That's cool. You can pay a legendary amount of worth of money just for a chroma. The Magnificent Twisted Fate. That's also an option. A lot of things that you can go for.
And so in terms of draft here compared to last time, Vid, what are your thoughts on, I get Vid and Rex since you're both here. What are your thoughts on how Lamp drafted this time versus last time, and who wins the overall draft pick this time?
Well, I guess I'll go first. I think Lamp has, individually, I like Nocturne more than I like Xin Zhao. I think Xin Zhao, some people say he is a better jungler, but Nocturne, I think that global, the semi-global ultimate, plus the fact that even though Stridebreaker did get nerfed in mobility, it still has a lot of damage, and Nocturne still just wants to do a ton of damage, and he's going to be able to do it, use the Paranoia to deny vision for Twisted Fate, use it to get on top of Twisted Fate and follow a gank. Nocturne, very strong, but I think MG Domed has the better comp overall. The global presence of Twisted Fate, plus the fact that Samira can just totally pop off with all of the peel that she's going to get from Twisted Fate, Nautilus, and Xin Zhao. I think MG Domed has this one.
Can Twisted Fate ult see into Nocturne Darkness, or Nocturnal?
He cannot see through it.
Yeah. It works, TF gains the vision of his allies, or no. He gains vision of all the enemies, but then he would lose all that vision because of Nocturne is blocking all his vision. Yeah, that's generally how it works. But yeah,
it's not true vision.
Yes. With what Vid said earlier about the drafts, I am inclined to agree with all that pretty much as well. Just to take along with the sentiment. I mean, MG Dome just has a way snowbally comp, and we saw what they could do with a snowball first time. See if they can get it the second time with this roaming TF, and possibly maybe even seeing a TP Ignite Renekton top lane. It would be interesting to see all that happen.
I'm interested to see that MG Domed banned Urgot. I don't believe they banned him last time, but that's interesting. They didn't ban him last time, so maybe they may have anticipated that they may have been bringing that back this time. But that's kind of an odd choice. They would ban that from Lampost.
Yeah, now that you point that out, it is a peculiar sort of ban there. They are, I guess they were figuring it's like we're not exactly sure what Leroy plays in the mid lane, perhaps, or whatever they were going to play. They're not going to be that worried about it, so they're just like, all right, let's just send our bans all to, or pretty much to the top lane. One for the Echo as a respect, and then the second one is like, we'll just throw something out there because the Tom Kench previously wasn't that bad.
All right, so your Lamppost coming into here, backs against the wall, 0-1. You've got a new draft, which, comparably, I'm inclined to agree with you guys. It looks like the MG Dome may have the edge here. But your Lamppost going into this, Vid, what do you make sure to do differently going into the second game?
Well, Ponyboy does have his hands on the Xin Zhao. Death Grips played that last game, but I think Nocturne beats Xin Zhao in the 1v1 now. So still Death Grips has the advantage in 1v1s. I think the difference here is that he can't do 2v2s. If Renekton comes in, Renekton definitely beats Sion early game, and so Nocturne needs to either kind of power farm his way to 6 and then affect the map, make sure that his lanes are getting strong, because Nocturne will fall off eventually, especially against against a Samira Nautilus, who will just be able to interrupt him after the Paranoia. But if Death Grips does all of that, make sure that his lanes get fed, make sure that the Leroy can basically do the whole like Syndra skill button on I took it personally, or do that to Samira as well after she uses that wind wall, and let Levi pop off, because still you do have that Lulu Xayah win condition. If you can let the Enchanter pocket the Xayah, things can go quite well for you outside of Samira popping off.
Would Alistair still have worked with this comp for Sokarch, or do you think the Nautilus is a better choice?
I mean, I love Nautilus, so I don't think that's. I don't think I'll make an impartial decision. But I think Nautilus offers so much more than Alistar, especially when you're looking at a Samira and a Twisted Fate, because you have such good lockdown with that. Like, Alistar can knock you up once. Nautilus can knock you up, pull you back, stun you, damage you, slow you. I don't think it's a great... I don't think Alistar would have been a great side grade. It would have definitely been a downgrade here.
And with Nautilus auto just hitting, locking you down, then hitting with the W, just stomping it up, being able to slow everybody down. Alistar Q essentially stopping it. It'll be interesting with all these dive comps they've got. Definitely wanting to try and slow down and prevent it to let Samira do what she can do. But we've got some disagreement in the chat. PQ Twitch is saying the Lamp lost to Fasting Sienna and Ali. They're calling 2-0 on there. Eric is saying he's disagreeing that Lamp is clean, has a large draft advantage. I do think they may have some more burst out of some of these champs, but those champs have to get to that point, and that's going to be determined if they're even going to be able to. Last time, Lamp just really, kind of agree with the PQ. They let Fasting Senna get into the game and do the damage that she was doing, just absolutely melting everybody she got her hands on. So we'll see what we're able to get here out of this game, as we're 3 seconds into the delay, and then we will hit the loading screen.
Yeah, at the end of the day here, I think Lamp's win condition is much narrower. It relies on death grips to hard jungle diff and to catapult Lamp into a late game stage. On the other hand, MG Domed has advantages in 2 lanes already. They just need Jin Zhao to continue doing what Ponyboy did last game.
And I will say early on, it seemed like Viego may have been a little bit of a hindrance to him, but he definitely turned it around very quickly. And so I think he had just maybe a little bit of synergy issues being a sub coming in, but we will see what happens as we start in Summoner's Rift.
Start we will. So let me go ahead and introduce this blue side for us. We have the MG Domed. You know him, we saw him earlier, and we're going to start off with Dobbins in the top lane playing Renekton, and Ponyboy playing the Zinzao in the jungle. Mid lane we got Turkey Personally with TF, and then bot lane we got Frowning Squirtle alongside of Sokarch playing Chimera and Nautilus respectively.
And on the red side, Lampost trying to battle back and bring this to 3. It's Slappy in the top lane with Scion, Death Grips in the jungle with Nocturne, the Leroy in the mid lane on the Syndra, and Not Levi and Randy Newman in the bot lane on Samira and Lulu. But Slappy needs to watch out because Sokarch has that hook at level 1. He will pull him back, but not over the wall. The root comes through, the stun comes through, and the flash will prevent the kill. Slappy trades his flash, that's 5-minute cooldown, but he does not die.
It's a good thing you get the ward down, because now we're able to see that MG Dome is going to invade, get a ward down on the red, and 5 stack on in. Looks like that Lamp is going to stack on the red buff down on the bot side. So I'm sorry, that was blue. Wait, no, it was red. Warning on the top side. So we'll see if these guys are going to get caught out going down here as they are stacked as 3. But
a word of caution here, the level 1 is much better for MG Domed. Ponyboy going to take some damage, and he's going to go so low at the beginning. The smite is going to come out to keep him alive. Now Sokarch going low, Death Grip is going to go low, not down. Flying Squirtle doing some damage, Death Grip's not dead yet. Ponyboy finds the auto attack. It is a 2-for-1 now, as the rotation comes in from Took It Personally, but now the Leroy fighting him back. Flying Squirtle is so low, and that was just chaos here at level 1.
My word, did not see that much of a interaction. Down, but Nocturne getting 2 assists out of it. Zinzao getting a kill, but having to get away. And
Water Cannon.
Squirtle getting out. And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say Water Cannon in the chat saying Squirtle saving heal for next game. Yep, smart. Gotta save 3 resources. A lot of things that actually I would talk about this. Sorry to interrupt you in the first place, but when we spotted out the invade top lane, I want to say that was a really good response by Lampost, because Leroy went over to the to their blue buff, the enemy blue buff, and put a ward on there to see if they were going to go straight back to blue buff. They didn't see that. They saw him cross around mid lane. Now they're going in for a little bit of engage, but it's not looking great right now. It's not going to turn out into anything. So that was a good response too. On top of that, they had Diff Grips, Not Levi, and Randy Newman move over to, on top and then get the surprise, get the good kill, or got a kill out of it. They did lose out one kill as well, but they got the first blood. So it's kind of worth on that end. Managed to take 2 kills off of that, and then on top of all of that, for the little macro things that you care about, Turker personally lost 3 minions out of that, while the Leroy was able to take all 6 from the first wave.
But at the end of all of this, we do see Lampost actually ahead a little bit, and now they have been keeping Flying Squirtle and Socart pushed in a fair amount. We do see them rotate into this bot side Scuttle Crab just to ward it and make sure that Death Grips will know if Ponyboy goes for it. Death Grips, however, because he died early, he will actually be a little bit behind here on the clear. Ponyboy already finding that Scuttle Crab and now going for the blue buff. He's about halfway through it, I would imagine, as Death Grip starts taking red. Leroy taking damage in the trade from Took It personally, but no serious blood here.
And Socart did a good job trying to, block as much as he can in between Squirrel. Just having that threat of that Q. Sometimes the threat of the Q, even like with Morgana, is better than just not actually throwing it. So they be cautious with the engage they've got there. And they're not quite sure where Ponyboy is, but he should be making his way. Well, they know now since he's working through mid lane, so they know he's making his way down bot lane. So Lamp should be backing up just a little bit, just so they don't get done from that gank coming up.
Yeah, they'll see him come around on this Scuttle Crab. The ping is coming out immediately, and Ponyboy will pull away a little bit against Death Grips here in the jungle. He will have that 28 to 24 one camp lead as he looks to go in, and doesn't seem like anybody's home here on the bot side jungle of Death Grips.
So spawning up here soon. It's going to be a first drake. It's going to be Mountain. So not really one that you prioritize pretty highly in the early game, but if you can take it, you're definitely happy about it.
Level 4 has come through first for Socart and Flying Squirtle, but that is not a good trade here for this Nautilus. The shield by Randy Newman plus the Guardian putting in work for Lamp.
I've been just disrespecting Slappy underneath this tower, just completely going in on him. And saw some bot lane.
He managed to just get away with the triumph. Good solo kill there. And add insult to injury, he kills Slappy, and Slappy flips. Death Grips now here against Ponyboy. He will get the fear off. The W coming out, and Socart flashes forward. He has the Q, but he hits the wall. Nautilus hitboxes.
You talk about not hitting the broadside of the barn, and then you hit the absolute edge of the barn and not able to get around the side of it. That would have been a dead Death Grips right there if he had landed that, without doubt. But able to get away from that. Ponyboy going to make his way back towards mid, start clearing his raptors, and we're going to get a reset from the bot lane.
Meanwhile, on the top lane, Dobbins does have a pretty significant advantage in gold, but that is, that's doing a lot of damage to Slappy here. The Conqueror is popped. Slappy will get some return damage, as well as a grasp stack that actually gives him a little breathing room. He wins the trade, technically.
That's barely. Dom looks like he's going to back up a bit, let the wave kind of push in and Prosper re-engage, and Slappy is going to back yet again and trying to refill and see what he can do. And Dom getting a lot of alone time in this lane from the kill, and then from Slappy having to back a second time.
Yeah, and Slappy committing his teleport that first time and then immediately backing after that trade. Dobbin has chugged both of his potions, so he will be a little bit healthier in this lane. It's probably going to take Death Grips hitting level 6 and then going to aid his top laner to actually turn this back around in Slappy's favor.
Yeah, but this is a weak side top lane that Lamp did choose to draft into, which is fine in the long term, because we've seen what a scale, like an end game sort of Scion can do for a team. He just charges, focuses, and just doesn't care about anyone else on the other team. than whoever his target is, and just goes straight for him or her in any case. So, you know, having a little bit, just trying to stem some of this bleeding is really what we're looking for, instead of trying to maybe even just go even, rather than just trying to win this lane over for Slappy right now.
And we see Socrotch having to use Nautilus Qs to get away from that little engage that was happening. And it seems like so far, early on, even though this was kind of the last time, bot lane, oh, a little bit of an engage coming in here.
And Twisted Fate coming in, he has the stun, he will find it on the Nocturne, who's taking a lot of damage. Death Grips goes down, Socrotch takes the kill here, Flying Squirtle, he gets the full things, but he doesn't have ultimate, and Socrotch will go down. The flash over the wall by Flying Squirtle actually kills his team. And now with 3 down, the 4th will go as well with Lulu, and it's called Flare. Samira's stacks, are they Flare stacks?
Style rank.
Style.
Randy,
Style stacks.
Randy Newman flashing for that to get the kill still from
He's
from his jungler.
Bot lane is over at this point. 4-0-2 for Not Levi, 2-0-4 for Randy Newman.
I'm sorry. I just did not see the Lulu
wanted to help.
flashing to get that kill.
He was helping.
So things go a little bit different than they did last time. Levi and Randy Newman did get a bit of an edge of a lead in the first game, but Squirtle and Socrotch did get help from their jungle to help get back into it. But now it seems that Levi and Randy Newman, cautiously optimistic, are starting to turn things around for their team. But the question is still, what's this mid lane and top lane for MG Dome going to do? Dobbin still has not really been contested, is getting a substantial goal lead against Scion here, and is really going to be a threat later on.
Yeah, sitting at about an 800 gold lead here for this Renekton. And I always have to reiterate it because I'm reminding myself, really, Renekton does not scale off as hard as he used to. These later game items really do help him a lot, and the introduction of mythics in the middle of this season, really, the beginning of this season, did really help him out. So we are looking at possibly a strong late game Renekton, but more importantly, Not Levi, currently sitting at about an 1100 gold lead here over Flying Squirtle, has the Gale Force. They want to start to push this lead before Flying Squirtle can go back and get his mythic, because once Samira has that Immortal Shield Bow, it is a lot harder to kill her. And the last thing you want to do is give yourself an unkillable Samira to deal with.
Is still good for Lampost to try to push towards their sort of win conditions. And right now, I mean, having a bot lane that's getting really strong is a pretty good thing. You do need to be careful because, I mean, you can get a strong or bad ADC all you want, but as long as you have a pretty strong Renekton, they can pretty much deal with it.
And now the 2v2 in the top lane as Ponyboy has to flash away. Death Grips is going to do some damage to Dobbin, but he's taken a lot more than he bargained for. Dobbin finds the kill onto Death Grips, and Slappy will go down for a second kill. Leroy is coming. He's looking for a stun. He's looking for some damage. He has the skill button, but Dobbin is going to deal some damage to him. The kill comes out by Leroy, and now, finally, Leroy will go down as Dobbin finds himself on a rampage with a triple.
Let's see, triple. Oh yeah, this Renekton's scaling up.
Okay, yep, that's exactly what I expected from this level of Fed. And all right,
didn't see that. My bad. Okay, this is just okay. After what we saw top lane, that was cool and all, but now this series of events is quite a new one. Okay, alright. Just sitting in pure silence now after what we just saw on that one. Okay, Levi. So, unfortunate. Tower ranges are kind of long. You do need to get out of it after it does its shot, not while the shot's, whenever it's still targeting you. That's, you wanna walk back in when it targets something else, not while it's still targeting you. I know you're antsy, you get back into lane, but you gotta be careful of those tower shots.
I mean, at least it was an execute, so he didn't give over that 600 gold shutdown. But come on, man. You're better than this. I know you. You're better than this.
Yeah, but we also saw him in the first game. But is he really?
Okay, you make a fair argument.
Okay, but technically, no one has killed him. Only something has killed him so far. So in this game,
Powers are people too. That's
debatable.
not true.
Debatable.
Definitely not true. But they've got statues of people on them.
So as far as itemizations are going, looks like Levi's will be able to finish 2 items, including boots. Lulu's got her boots done. Looks like she's got her quest done. Working on her moonstone item. Nautilus right now just has his 1 item. Looks like he's almost finished with that. And so it looks like the bot lane is getting pretty far ahead. And Xayah is just going to keep scaling and scaling, and Lulu is just going to keep buffing her just more and more.
I am wondering what Lulu will go for in terms of a mythic. You guessed Moonstone first, but really she can go with all 3. Probably not the Imperial Mandate given her Guardian build rather than Aerie, but I would think that she could also go for Shirelia's, which could help with Scion, could help with the Nocturne on your team, or just for getting Leroy those like longer range snipes here. Many pings coming out as, wow, Took It Personally takes a couple of balls to the face, and now Ponyboy is caught in trouble, and in a second, he doesn't have flash, so he's going to be dead.
Well, might have been a little bit more of a overcommitment, but they probably maybe didn't know exactly when his flash timers were.
Yeah, the paranoia was a little ambitious. Maybe it was a little paranoid even.
Didn't know he had flash or not, so just wanted to really make sure he got that kill, and looks like that they are able to secure that alongside the dragon right after. So now Lampost is in a pretty good position to take up in this game. They have 2 dragons up, means that they only need 2 more to finish up this dragon soul, and it's going to be Cloud. Not the best Drake, but still good nonetheless. I mean, that's taking it off the enemy team.
It's pretty good for a fed Levi here.
That's good. And I mean, and Levi, you know, I think he's got his wits about him now. You know, with the Caitlyn, he was trying to stay back as far as he could, but they just kept getting on top of him. So I think with the Xayah, he's a little bit more in his element. I am seeing this as a Renekton's just following around Slappy wherever he's going, no matter what turret it is. I mean, Dobbin is just showing Slappy no respect at all. And it'll be interesting to see when that Renekton starts to get some beefier items on him. I see he's got his door drinker and his plated steel caps on him so far, so he's starting 10. He's 4-0, 400 gold bounty, so he's going to be doing some damage in a bit. Here comes the Scion in.
Yeah, Scion actually misses Ponyboy, so Ponyboy will find the kill on Death Grips. Took It Personally, dodges away from that decimating smash. Slappy doesn't have the ultimate to get out of there. Now Leroy may be in trouble as they may go for the dive. Ponyboy has to flash away. A lot of damage coming in on Dobbin. The shutdown for the Xayah, and flash. Leroy will take out Ponyboy and turn this one around for a 2-4-2.
Looks like bot lane may be getting... Oh, never mind, they're not going to get that turret. No turrets have fallen just yet. But it looks like MG Domed has the healthiest turret so far. Unless it looks like mid lane, they're going to try and get some work on that. I'm anticipating the mid lane or bot lane for Lampost after the next fight that happens may go down for them. But if they get this down, Xayah is just melting these turrets, and she is really dealing some damage now.
Yeah, Gale Force does do a little less DPS than the other 2 mythics, but Levi is strong enough that he doesn't really care about that. He's got the Phantom Dancer components waiting, and I'm sure he has the Phantom Dancer available now for his second item, as Flying Squirtle is just probably finishing boots soon, as he's got that cloth armor.
Yep, and Xayah still has a 700 gold bounty, and Xayah's now crossing 8,500 gold to the Samira 5,100. And she is Levi, I'm sorry, Levi is a rich boy going back to the base, spending that gold, and there's a pretty significant gap starting to form between the 2 ADCs. And I would say as far as the gold goes between the teams, it looks like the top lane and jungle for MG Dome is the only ones really keeping things close. With Lampost, but we'll see if other lanes can't get ahead as well.
Took It Personally is fighting Slappy and probably not going to win this. Slappy's just very tanky right now. But now Nocturne coming in onto Ponyboy. He's looking at him. The ultimate used to peel himself away as Death Grip's now chasing down. He's trying to look for Sokarch. He has some damage off the polymorph used. Sokarch will go down. Death Grips takes the kill on that. Now flying Squirtle. Squirtle, he's on. He has the ultimate, but it's not enough. Leroy takes him down. Slappy has used the ultimate on the top side, and he's now trying to chase down Took It Personally.
Yeah, and there he goes. Slappy just took it personally. Well, I guess taking it personally in any case, and taking him down on the tower.
And I will say, I don't believe that Lulu has Hesh on the go. Let's see what she's got. Yeah, she has 3 stacks in her polymorph right now. And once she gets to full 4 stacks in the polymorph will put down 2.25 seconds of silence on any one person. And that is that's a death sentence if she gets that on the right person.
Ooh, that was...
Not Levi with the cheeky back, but he will survive. And now it looks like both teams are going to set up around this dragon. Lamp to try and push themselves to Soul Point. MG Dome to try and keep them from getting there. MG Dome does have the advantage. They get there first, but they do not have the power advantage here in this game. Sokarch will have to Spider-Man himself away, and MG Dome gives up Prio over this Drake. It will take a steal, but Ponyboy does not have Flash.
Oh,
Question is, will Lamp burn this down immediately, or will they wait for something? They'll start it, they're spotted, and it looks like Dobbin has the teleport, but will not commit it, you know.
Ooh. What? Oh, man, you... Ouch. Oh, that Q from Twisted Fate, my word.
One item to Twisted Fate has a sheen, I guess, and then and flying tone, and he was able to take that.
Yikes.
Death
And
Grip
Nocturne
smited
has...
Well, Death Grip smited it at 924 health.
Oh,
And
man,
Twisted Fate's Q hit it at that moment.
That...
Not something we want to see whenever that is. So that's delaying whatever the soul point at the very least, which is good for MG Dome. So good, congratulations to Tucker personally on that.
That... I just cried watching that happen. I thought for sure, and then, oh my goodness gracious, they should have cleared out the ward from the back of that, but I see they just left it there. That, oh no. Oh man, I feel bad for him right now. That may have turned the tides.
I mean, it's definitely delayed a little bit longer. Zaya still is a very, very competent late game ADC, and Levi as well is a very competent late game ADC player. A lot of what MG Dome was going for was just kind of finding picks and going around the map as a group and pushing leads. They really didn't find very much of a lead outside of Dobbin, and he wasn't able to convert that to anything for his team as a whole. He's 4-1. I mean, he's just kind of been solo in a lot of this game without being able to do anything or put pressure that his team can capitalize on.
And I will say that Sokarch is a fair bit behind. He's at level 9 now, but was at level 8 previously. Everybody else, he seems to be almost 2 levels down compared to the other teams. A little bit over a level and a half maybe at this point. But Sokarch are really getting pushed out of this game by the Lulu and bot lane. And he'll need to, you know, stay with the team to make sure he's getting the EXP that he needs so he can keep being the peel and tank that they need. But right now, he's just a little bit behind.
Absolutely. I do want to point out some of these mythic item choices here. For Ponyboy picking up the Eclipse and going for a Serpent's Fang here. It's pretty interesting choice, especially with the shielding amounts. Slappy's pretty much the only one that's going to have some shielding. On top of that, with the Eclipse is signifying, you know, you want to do a little bit more bursty damage, which is good because you have like 3-4 squishies if you want to count Death Grip, but he's going to get build tankier soon. So in any case, I'm not that, because I've seen a couple people actually go for Immortal Shield Bow, and that works out pretty well for damage output and also survivability. It's going to be interesting to see. Tucker personally grabbing the Rocket Belt here. I love it personally, just because then you get the Rocket Belt system card and no one sees it coming. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I personally love doing that all the time, especially if you have Rapid Fire Cannon. And then everything else is pretty standard on everyone else. Motor Shield Bow, we Locket the Iron Solari, Gore Drinker, Frostfire Gauntlet, Stridebreaker, Loon's Tempest, and Gale Force along with Shirelia's Battle Song.
I am glad that the Shirelias is here for Randy Newman, and now the flash over the wall for Sokarch, not realizing maybe that Levi has an ultimate, you know, guys?
And Shirelia's from Lulu.
Yep. Shirelia's from Lulu also not doing that much, as the team doesn't really have any tanks with them there to follow up and dive this turret. So they will take the turret, they'll steal this red buff away. Right now, MG Dome in trouble. They use the ultimate, but Nocturne gets right through that. He snaps in and takes out Ponyboy, who just bit off a little more than he could chew. Sokarch down to about half health, but here we have Lampost pushing themselves to about a 3,500 gold lead and moving toward Baron.
Sokarch still sitting at level 9, just not staying with his team, getting the XP that he needs to. And then seeing he's got Moby boots on, I'm not sure I agree completely with that, given in this game, I mean, I understand he needs to get around the map, but once you're engaged, I mean, you were there with that, and it'd be really difficult to run away with that. And right now, Lampost is shredding Baron. I mean, this Xayah is melting this thing.
Yeah, on the Moby boots point, I just don't think they're very good anymore. You know, if you should probably get combat stats, because people aren't really buying Moby boots for a reason. You are going to be in combat a lot. Mobility in combat is pretty important nowadays. And we do see Sion coming in. He will not hit Flying Squirtle, but it will get Lampost priority over this dragon. Just don't let this one get stolen away by a Twisted Fate card again.
Waiting in the wings, they're waiting for it now, and they're going to be body blocking that. Sion going behind just to eat that damage, just stop it over again. And now we are on Soul Point.
Now we're on Soul Point.
I just imagine on the comm, I just imagine him on comms going, get behind the dragon. Don't let him steal it again.
I can imagine. I mean, that was quite a spectacle we saw the first time. It really put them on the, you know, it put them back a little bit. So then the game's lasting as long as it is right now. That could have been Elder Drake, or that would have been Soul, and then that's would have been Elder Drake.
Randy Newman having a flash and burn Shrillies get out of that. That was a bit of a burn down on that.
Yeah, and that was nothing committed on the side of MG Dome. So if they can catch out Randy Newman, it will be tough to do because he has that wild growth still available. But, you know, this is pretty much the best option you've got at this point, especially when Flying Squirtle's about to get Syndra flash away, and now the Paranoia in. They're going to try and jump on top of Samira, but they can't quite finish the kill. Ultimate coming down and a shutdown coming in, and oh, damn it, I took it personally. You got killed, and now Levi, he's massive. He's running. He's chasing. He has the flash. He has the heal. Does he really need either to find a triple kill, possibly a quadra? He flashes forward, the ultimate, and he gets that quadra kill.
All right, so now where's the auction in order to revive the team?
That I think would be a perma-ban in Get Wrecked LCS. I would imagine everybody is going to be banning that thing once that guy comes out. But Levi flexes his muscles. This is the Levi of old that we were expecting in the first game on that Caitlyn. And now MG Dome having to deal with kind of the opposite of they were having the last game. And Xayah and Lulu just completely taking this over. And I'm going to say we're 0 for 2 tonight for saying who's going to win team draft. And when it comes to the third game, which it looks like it might be, I mean, they could throw it. I mean, Rex, what do you guys think of the MG Domes having to do to get their way back into the game? While they're down, they're not as down as much as Lampost was at this point last game. So there's still maybe a glimmer of hope for them, but most everything seems to be on the bot lane at this point.
Well, they just don't have a way to really get onto this Xayah. That's the main point for me. They don't have a way to really kill her right now. have some pretty strong members. They have some good fighters. Like, I mean, in terms of straight DPS, you're not going to beat out Levi's with how much damage he's dishing out right now with the IE, the PD, and the Gale Force. Is going to be an insane amount of damage he's dishing out with Randy Newman's peel as well. Leroy's throwing out stuns as well, and Death Grip. It's really just grabbing your ADC's attention, so you're already diverting your team a bit already.
And Sokarch is, as Renekton goes down here, Sokarch is 3 levels down now.
Like, we weren't wrong on evaluating the draft. It's just that whichever team happens to win draft also doesn't play to their win conditions. Like, the bot lane of MG Domed, they got put behind early by that little fight in the jungle that I think Flying Squirtle actually did kind of throw that fight at level 1 by not healing. He could have kept Ponyboy alive, pretty sure. Or, you know, just, you know, he could have kept that from not being a 2-for-1, which would have put him at even. And he didn't use that heal very early anyways. It's not like he needed it.
Well, he's saving it for the next game. We'll see him use it in the next game if they have one.
Well, I mean, with how this game's going right now, it's definitely going to go on to a game 3 with a 1-to-1 for each side. If it goes out that way, who knows? Anything could happen here. Take it personally. Joanna's ulti. Seeing if they can get a pig on the Leroy.
Ooh, that was interesting. All right.
And yeah, we're just gonna watch him die in complete silence as he just gets CC'd down and auto attacked by everyone else. Take personally, living on the edge, very much so, but able to get out of there, and they got a pick for themselves. So they can't necessarily have used that to their advantage just yet. So they can use it to try to get site control of like the Dragon or Baron, depending on which one they prioritize a little bit more. But other than that, we're going to see Leroy up in time for at least. If a fight breaks out, he'll be there a little late, but he does have TP available as well to get there soon.
We're also seeing the Scion while he's, you know, pretty much just been running around helping his team get accomplishments done, or objectives done, is just slightly behind Renekton in terms of gold, but there's still a big discrepancy between the bottom lane, and it looks like mid lane is still relatively even, and then the gap here is solidly in this bottom lane, even comparing what's with the golden optimization being done.
Now the soul in the hands of Lampost. Looks like they will be going to that Baron. They know that they cannot be stopped here. The Xayah is just too much right now to deal with. It's going to be too much at every stage of the game from here on out, because Xayah is a late game ADC, and there is nothing on the side of MG Domed that can deal with this kind of late game ADC. Second Baron of the game will be going over to Lampost. Unless Ponyboy makes the hero play, we've got Took It Personally. He has that red card, or that gold card. He will go on to the Leroy. Leroy is down. Death Grip is in the middle of the team fight. He's going to go down as well. Xayah in the back of the fight. No one is focusing him. They're all trying to play front to back. They're not going on to the Xayah, who finally goes down. He's got the Guardian Angel, though, and will he be able to pop off? No, he will not. That's a kill. That's 2. That's 3. And there goes Slappy for 4. MG Domed, they battle it back. They manage to save their own game. Slappy will not be getting any kind of return kill. MG Domed, they have the game-saving team fight.
What a turnaround. Able to take down the bounty over for the side of on Lampost. Getting that down, they had to run back real quickly to defend their base because Inhibitor was just crashing down on them. But it looks like they were able to save the towers too, so this might be a turning point. They don't necessarily have the late game that like Lampost has. Lampost definitely has a better late game team comp, but we'll have to see. Maybe they'll be able to edge their way through a couple of these team fights yet again, just like how they did with the Baron.
So some inhibitors starting to come back up for MG Domed, and I think right there at the Baron, Lampost knew the MG Dome was all up. They knew they were right there, but they gave no respect to him. Just like, if they come to Baron, we'll just kill them. They had Syndra and Lulu waiting to try and hold them off, and MG Dome just went in there, had a little bit better team fight, and was ready to go in there and take them. And now Lampost, they're trying to set up for it again. Maybe they'll set up for this a little bit more cautiously. and just paying just a little bit more respect to their team fight and what they've got, and maybe try and get some filing the Baron this time. They're out some vision, starting to lay it down. They're gonna miss that. Oh, they're gonna miss. Okay, they're gonna miss the one on the other side of the wall. I can't believe that.
And that's actually big with Dobbin's teleport being
Oh
up.
my
It means
God!
he can go into. No, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sokarch? Back off! And now the teleport comes in. The paranoia is here. That is a lot of damage onto Death Grips. They do have to use the wild growth onto it, and Flying Squirrel is automatically shut down. Slappy takes the kill. The teleport is so freaking late here for Dobbin. He's going to be rooted up. He flashes onto Not Levi, but he cannot find anything here. He's fleeing. He's knocked up. He's dead. And just as quickly as MG Dome found themselves a good fight, they will throw the other one right back at Lamp.
We were worried about the one little ward on the other side, which I still have not seen. I cannot believe the sweeper missed that. And then they're just, oh my God. So Karch just stepping just a little bit too far and getting caught out. And then Newman doing his best to keep Levi safe, but they were finally able to get onto him and lock him down. But it is not looking good now for MG Dome.
This is not good. They had a glimmer there. They had a great team fight. And I mean, I guess they ran out of team fight money. They ran out of team fight dollars,
Yep.
and they could not afford a good team fight again there. That was heartbreaking. I mean,
Yep.
first you watch them walk into your blue side jungle, and you say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna face check them. I'm gonna face check the 3 people that we just saw there. You engage the fight. You managed to kill Death Grips at least, and trade him fairly quickly, similarly as quickly as your support. And then Dobbin just never teleports. He teleports at least 10 seconds late.
We got a full build Zaya. It's like Lulu still a couple items to go. Samir still has a few more items to go. And we'll see if they can better protect Zaya this time. Zaya's gone down 3 times now, still 3 to go bounty. Sion now has 1, and they're just clearing out vision. This may be, I think we're looking at one of the last fights that may happen here. We'll see what they're going to be able to get done. And there they go. All right, now they're getting the vision. Okay. All right, now we're clearing it out.
And at this point, Dobbin is here, so he is way out of position.
Oh, Dobbin.
He's 10 miles out of position.
And that should be game. And they're going to get Baron and then in.
It's a free Baron. It's a free push. And granted, without the paranoia, it does get a little bit harder to engage, but Lamps still are at a pretty, a pretty meaningful advantage here. Ponyboy jumps in. He will not find the kill. He trades his life for it as Levi jumps in, although that will force the ultimate, but he is on a killing spree. The team fight is a 4v3. Flying Squirtle is knocked up and killed. That's 1, 2, and 3. The ace for 1 for Lampost. They have the Baron. They have the teleport coming in by the Leroy, and they will push this in to bring it to 1-1.
And they've got the supers pushing in the mid lane, which is great timing for them. Hopefully they can get that done before they're going to get that done before the Supers go in. Great comeback from Lampost, and just a phenomenal performance out of the bot lane from Levi and Randy Newman. Hats off, guys. Great job.
Yeah, that was a great bot lane game. Won it from an early team fight, kept it rolling, kept the momentum going. Lampost will bring it to 1-1, but everyone is readying up for game 3, and we do not want to keep you waiting. So do not go anywhere, because we're going to take a quick break and get into Champ Select for game 3.
The damage. It looks like we're necking down just a little bit, but I mean, Zion, Syndra way up there at the top. Sion, surprised with that amount of damage. Almost 20,000 damage, matching Zinzao on that side, and then just good damage output overall from the from Lampost. And we'll see what they can do different against in this game 3.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, after a pretty spectacular game, I gotta say, from Lamp, with the bot lane just kind of snowballing its way, I feel like this is pretty much just went back to snowball, but it's different people that's been snowballing. First it was Tucker personally, and then next one is was not Levy, Levi Levy. I still don't know his name, honestly. I have a sticky note. It's just like, it just feels wrong saying it sometimes. I don't know of like how to pronounce his name. Levy.
We just call him Frank.
Ah, okay, yeah. So for not Frank, really popped off that game, and we're going to be seeing a game 3. Unfortunately, I did not play the Silver Scrates, but that's just because I wanted to save it for the time whenever we do go into best of 5s for our actual series, which are coming up pretty soon here.
Right, and if you're MG Dome coming into this, you kind of kept your bans pretty much the same. You did take the Xin Zhao away from Lamp in game 2. So game 3 coming into this, all of us on the line. I see that they've got Xin Zhao banned here. How are you banning differently this time? Looks like they're still leaving up Zaya and Caitlyn on the table. Zaya would be a little bit more worried about than the Caitlyn. And it looks like they're taking Xin Zhao and Viego off the table. So apparently the junglers that they've been fighting over are now gone. And we're rotating junglers again.
Well, no, it's smart because there are 3 top-tier junglers right now. Xin Zhao, Viego, and Nocturne. And MG Dome knows that if they ban one, Lamp is still going to try and ban the Viego because of game 1. So they get to pick the Nocturne. And now Lamp is forced into a suboptimal jungle pick, which looks like it will be the Volibear. Interesting one. And I wouldn't say it's like garbage tier, but just Nocturne, Viego, and Xin Zhao are just a little bit better, which is why we're seeing such priority over them. So smart jungle draft here for MG Domed. And frankly, you're not going to be able to take away the Caitlyn and the Zaya in one rotation. So just leave both of them up and let Levi pick.
And so it looks like they're also going to pick up the Lulu from last time. And I got to see the Lulu did put in more dividends for them than the Leona did the first game. Lulu with the peel, the polymorph. I mean, just the utility she had. And Randy Newman knows that kit so well and utilized it so well. And so that polymorph really, I think, I'm kind of surprised MG Dome didn't ban it out instead of the Seraphine or Jinx. But, we'll see if they have an answer for the polymorph that she's got.
Definitely. So we're seeing a pretty similar team that MG Dome is going to be bringing out. Oh.
I see the Senna. I'm already thinking they're going to do the fasting Senna again. And so if they bring the Zaya back out, that means that we're going to have the 2 winning ADCs in the final one and see which one is going to win here. But we'll see Set going back top lane, and we'll see if Slappy will have an answer for the Set. He's yet to have a real... I want to say that... I will say that Sion did go better. He did lose top lane to the Renekton. But hopefully we don't see Tom Kinch again. Maybe he'll bring the Sion out again. We'll see what they're able to answer into the Set. And so since they're not going to be able to ban ADC since it's done, we'll see what the next 2 bans are going to be for MG Dome.
Yeah, and we do see that the Zaya is also locked in, banning with the Victor because he was super strong, but now we do see the Zaya coming in again. If we see a similar start to what we saw previously, it's going to be pretty insane, but that was just a level 1 invade or counter invade that worked out really well on parts of Lamp, and that was honestly, that's still probably my favorite part about what happened last time. Just like how smartly they reacted to, they saw the MG Dome trying to do a 5-man invade top lane. Got a lot out of it.
Between the level 1 invade and then that crazy team fight on the bot lane, I feel like the bot lane performance, yes, Levi and Randy Newman played very well last game, but the fact that they were able to get so far ahead so quickly, I think that was kind of a fluke. We're probably not going to see that one happen again in back-to-back games. But the Aatrox picked up very interesting and very, very scary combo here with the Volibear.
Incredibly so. And when you just imagine, wild growth on any of those, that Lulu's got to pair with her shield. I mean, it just any of those 3 champions right there. Great buff that Lulu be able to give to those, and then taking away the Victor and TF from MG Dome. MG Dome taking on Syndra and Echo. So we're seeing some new champs here, and I like this series. You know, they're doing something different. We're not seeing the exact same things. And Maokai, have not seen a Maokai support in maybe not that far, but Chad is going. You know, MG Dome is going to pick 4 melee into Xayah Lulu again. We will see what happens if that will be the case. But now we've got a lot. Yeah, we're seeing it. That's going to be the tell of the mid laners right now. It is going to be this last game is going to be spicy. I think it'll either be close or a complete blowout, which are probably the only two ways it can go. Anivia. Okay.
All right. I like it. Spicy. I like
Okay.
a lot of ways to control some of these fights. With the Anivia, putting up your walls so you can make sure that Aatrox has a little bit harder time in order to get to your backline carries. But the Ziggs also going to be picked up. It's going to give them a lot of power to their pushing alongside of just, you know, general, just a little bit of artillery from a long range is going to be very useful as well.
I actually like the Ziggs more than the Anivia. We'll say right now. I mean, I do like the Lamp draft a little bit better. The Maokai ult with the Nocturne ult. I mean, this could be they could layer these combos well. MG Dome could, but I mean, we'll have to see if they'll be able to get past the burst damage and the buffs that Lamp will be able to put out. I mean, we're gonna it's gonna be an interesting game 3 for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, let's just try to have a little conversation about their team comps here. We're not seeing, you know, 4 melees into Xayah Lulu again, so Eric, don't worry about that. But Lamp still has a pretty strong team comp to go against this. Maybe we'll just start talking by, you know, straight up lane matchups. Set versus Aatrox. What do you guys think about that matchup here?
Well, Aatrox wins it. I mean, Aatrox is an incredibly oppressive strong side top laner with an early game ganking jungler against Set, who has no reposition and does best into tanks, which Aatrox is a bruiser, but he's not the Tom Kench we saw in game 1. Set is going to have a very rough time here if Volibear prioritizes top lane, and Nocturne, as we've seen, doesn't really like doesn't like ganking early unless he can find someone caught out in a really bad position.
And just look at the mid laners here. Just one of the last one of these guys that actually played these champs. Took a person. The last time he really got on Anivia was back in the end of May 21, is what I'm seeing right here. Only has a Champion Mastery 2 on him, so somewhat familiar with the champ. But Leroy is actually Mastery level 7 on Ziggs, and then played this guy back in July or earlier this month. So Ziggs is a little bit more fresh on Leroy's mind than Took a person did on Anivia. But I mean, we will, you know, see these guys are here that, you know, in their divisions for a reason. See what he's able to do with this, and then Fasting Senna once again. We will see if they're able to pull this off. What do you think about the Maokai support?
Like, my main question here for MG Dome, which one's your winning lane? Because you've got 2 scaling lanes. You've got Set top into Aatrox Volibear. Which one of them is winning? And of course, as I say this, saying out loud that Lamp lost or that Lamp won draft again, they're probably gonna lose because nothing, like, the drafts are not going the same way we expect in this series.
Well, I mean, as far as the drafts go, I do like Lamps better. I mean, MG Dome is going to be you know, pretty interesting for what they've got, unless they lane swap, which is entirely possible. I mean, couldn't it be in Set support Maokai going up top? Don't know. But right now, it looks like things are pretty locked. I don't know if Sokarch is able to play top lane or not. But with Fasting Senna again, I think Flying Squirtle probably in between was saying, you know, give me Fasting Senna, give me Senna again, let me do the damage that I was pumping out last time. And so we've got the 2 ADCs and really dealt the most damage here. Is going to be something that's going to be, you know, that'll be the battle of all battles once we get into this game. Right now, Ponyboy just seems to be taking whatever jungler that Death Grips has had. And so we'll see what he's able to do on Volibear. Volibear can have some pretty good ganks. It'll be fun to see him get in there. And then Ziggs basically a semi-global ult, just being able to come in Kobe from anywhere. Rest in peace.
I think personally for me, I think draft-wise, I'm going to give it to MG Dome just because they have better engage. Just purely on that fact, because I don't know what else we could really go off of. We've been wrong for the past 2 drafts, so I'm just gonna go off. You know what? I like MG Dome's engage a way better than Lamps. Their way into a fight is like probably like Aatrox hitting his ulti, getting that movement speed buff, and then jumping in alongside a Volibear following up. Or they just and then, well, MG Dome, they have a lot of control of when they want to pick up the fights. They can send out the Maokai ulti to, send it to pressure them first, to have the Nocturne ulti, so it's harder to see where your teammates are to try to group up a little bit. And even if you do group up a little bit, you do have the set to worry about that can do just great amount of CC on one person, or just go ahead and just grab your entire team and keep them a little bit locked down for your Anivia, and then your Senna just do tons of damage too. So I kind of like MG Dome's a little better. It plays out better in my head for the team fights. But then again, if Lamp gets ahead, they could just shred while they're trying to go in for an engage.
I will say, in comparing the first few games that happened, Randy Newman did kind of, and Levi did kind of, I don't want to say ran it down, but I mean, they just made some interesting choices in lane as far as engaging with the bot lane goes. But in the second game, MG Dome, I mean, they did get kind of put behind early on, but they're just going blindly into the jungle, not really looking, paying attention to the warning where things were going. They got caught out, I'd say, probably a little bit more in the second game than Lamp did in the first game. Lamp had some bad engages, tried to disengage. I mean, they just didn't have great, altogether team fights when they were trying to do something. MG Dome in the second game got caught out, I think, a little bit more, and I think for MG Dome's comp to work, Anivia is going to need to not wall in her teammates, which can happen if you're not placing those things carefully. And so we'll have to make sure that they're, using their CC properly and not hurting themselves more than those are meant to hinder. 10 seconds now from getting inside of it. Vid, what are your thoughts on who's going to win this final game?
What the hell am I supposed to know? Ask me again. Ask me again at 10 minutes when we've seen one insane fight taken without any vision on either side and only one teleport committed.
We should
to tell
do
you which side is gonna win. Because
is it too late to put a poll up on stream chat, Rex, to say hey, who's gonna win this?
Yeah, I can do that real quick, but you guys take away the introductions while I go ahead and get that set up. Whenever we get loaded into the game.
Sure. Vid, I'll give you the honors of going first, so you pick whichever side you want.
Well, we are here into game 3 in the series where the points are made up and the kills don't matter. We've got MG Domed on the blue side. We have Dobbin in the top lane on set once again. Ponyboy in the jungle on the Nocturne. Took it personally in the mid lane on Anivia. And in the bot lane, Flying Squirtle and Sokarch playing the Fasting Senna and the Maokai.
And on the red side, we have Slappy on the Aatrox, Death Grips on Volibear, the Leroy on Ziggs, and not Levi and Randy Newman again on the dynamic duo Zaya and Lulu. And we're absolutely seeing Maokai coming off the door and shield and Senna with the sickle, so they are absolutely doing the fasting Senna. Ziggs running cleanse in the mid lane. Interesting choice there. Randy Newman going again on Guardian on Lulu. One interesting thing that I've usually seen with this, and I don't know because I haven't really played, played ranked as long as probably what I should, because it's all ARAMs. Again, judge me if you want to. But usually when I've seen Enchantress supports run Guardian, I've seen him also take Relic Shield to, just get him a little bit beefier, a little bit safer in that regards. Do you think that Randy should be running Relic on that, or do you think he's good running with Spell Thief still?
Yeah, I mean, usually you see Relic Shield and Guardian at the same time, yes. And last game, playing against the Nautilus, you had a lot easier time proccing your Spell Thieves because he was going to walk up and he was going to hit the minions. Farming Maokai also is going to be walking up and hitting the minions, but at the same time, you aren't going to be as tanky thanks to you're not going to be as tanky against the saplings, which I don't think is going to be a huge deal for Randy Newman in this lane. It's just something to consider if he does not basically do all the damage that he needs to. If he doesn't deal similar damage against this Maokai, then he might be in trouble.
Speaking of which, Maokai getting burst on really early in that initial kind of engagement. Dobbin and Slappy just slugging that out. Yeah, imagine these guys just going, hey, we're just going to meet top lane and we're just going to go at it. And
bro, we need to pad our damage stats for this series.
We've been at the bottom, man. Come on, we got to do this. No, definitely agree on that. One thing I'd be interested to see is with the amount of CC that MG Dumbness bring this bot lane with the Maokai, with the Senna, now with the Anivia. I'm wondering if we're going to see a Crucible coming out of the Lulu early on to try and help, cleanse this, because Ziggs does have the cleanse, but that'd be an additional, kind of get out of jail free card that they could have. Is it worth building an item like that based on the comp that Lamp is playing into?
Yes and no. I mean, you're right that they do have a lot of just CC different things, but they don't have one thing that you really will want to cleanse, or that you'll want to Mikhail's every time. If it were like, well, actually, what do you buy Mikhail's for anymore? Because it's an underbought item, because we don't really have any long. Yeah, like Morgana, I guess, but you don't have that many long CCs even in here. Anivia stun does some. Set, I mean, you've got way more problems if Set stun is the most worried.
Party in the top lane river is slow.
And the flash forward, Dobbin goes on to Slappy, and now Ponyboy is here as well. First blood goes over to this Volibear. Slappy's in trouble. Looks like Ponyboy will be finding the kill onto him, but he is in the middle of two, although he does have the blue buff available. Death Grips, he's gonna go for it. On the 1v1, he's fleeing, and Ponyboy now will take out the Volibear. Leroy, you don't have any mana, but you're still gonna find the kill. He flashes away. Teleport coming in from Slappy as he has just respawned. He's running in, but he will not be there to find anything. It's a 2 for 2 with Death Grips finding kill 1.
Clenching so hardly in my chair right now with that happening. Did not expect that to be able to fly down out of that. Oh, Rex, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, no problem. What a fight around the top lane. It's not the necessarily thing I was talking about, but maybe this is it. Maybe Ponyboy is gonna start on Nocturne here. Oh no, it's been like that for the past couple games, but we'll just have to see how it actually turns out here. It is going to be interesting because both kills did go over to Ponyboy. He did fall in the end, and Leroy did manage to get out of his life, but he is flashless now. And as long as Ponyboy reaches level 6, but by the time that flash is up, this could be just another dead Ziggs.
Yeah, we'll have to watch out for what's going to happen in these next couple of levels, with both of these junglers getting a pretty significant advantage here. Meanwhile, the Leroy, he did go back and buy a tier as well as the mana crystal, so he doesn't have any direct combat stats to show for it. However, neither just took it personally. He also bought tier boots, so they're effectively even here in lane, both of them just trying to scale up, build some items. Meanwhile, Slappy getting a lot of good damage off onto Dobbins, dodging away from the Haymaker, but he's in a little bit of trouble right now. The boot plus longsword versus just the longsword, and took it personally.
Did he get that? He got the passive. He got the passive off of Anivia. Oh, so close in getting that out. Good combo from Ziggs, just poking him down. I will say that there was a stun earlier that Anivia landed on him, and Leroy's holding on to that cleanse, and I think he's waiting for. I think he's saving that, if I had to guess, for Ponyboy, rather than Anivia.
And now Leroy, maybe, nope, he will dodge away from that, from the fear tether. Good job.
You gotta love the little bomb that just, boosts Ziggs along, just.
Yeah, great. Got his escape outs. And I gotta say, Leroy was able to get a blue buff off of that top lane engage, and he used it quite well. Maybe with that knowledge of having that blue buff, maybe I wouldn't have bought that mana crystal, the sapphire crystal, because you're not really going to be hurting on the mana at the moment. Maybe push for just slightly more damage to kill off Took It Personally, but That's just the sort of small macro things that I don't really, that sometimes doesn't matter, sometimes do.
Yep.
Yeah, and with how chaotic these games in the series have been, like you don't know whether the little macro plays are going to matter or not, because
Right.
a lot of macro plays are like, oh, well, we're doing this because this is what we expect them to do. We're doing this because this is the most likely thing they'll do. Someone's probably going to walk by this bush, so I'm going to ward it. But I mean, that just kind of goes out the window when people just like run back and forth, and you've got supports roaming, roaming slowly, roaming not at all, or whatever. It's
Death groups.
Yeah,
Making
it's
appearance
crazy.
bot lane just to kind of run them off a bit. We'll see what's been good. Oh, Randy
Look at that.
Newman.
Look, just
Gosh,
supports going
flashed away.
all over the place.
Randy Newman's getting caught out of position, pulling exactly what. Ooh, some chunky damage coming out from Leroy. Randy Newman's getting caught a little bit out of position. Think he'll be able to clear out that ward. It's just little things like that I think are going to make the difference. That were making the difference for MG Dome in the second game. Just getting caught out like that, you can't just disrespect the jungler or the other team in that manner. But I will say the way that Leroy's playing the Ziggs in the mid lane, holding on to the cleanse that he's got, just showing that he knows how to play Ziggs in any position, in any situation. So we'll see that he hopefully, uses that cleanse properly, and maybe, get him out of a pretty good situation later on. Randy Newman coming back to the lane.
And like Randy Newman didn't think that he would be in that much trouble. He didn't think that Ponyboy would be 6, I'm guessing, because Death Grips wasn't 6 at that point. However, Death Grips also had a couple of kills, and now the 1v1 coming out as Slappy goes into the ultimate. The flash for flash as Dobbins barely misses that one.
Yikes.
Here comes the Featherstorm,
Malphite.
and not Levi might be in
Oh,
trouble.
man.
Flashes
That's it.
away, the damage coming out, the ultimate, it gets him to stutter step. That will be enough. Damage coming through, and Sokarch takes the kill onto not Levi.
Back just enough for that. Not quite able to get out of that Maokai ult. Unfortunately going to get caught from that. And this is some what we were seeing in the first game. But Lampost still has a lot of game left. A lot of game left to play.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 9 minutes in, and
Yep.
we've seen a little bit of an advantage here for MG Domed, about a 1.5K gold lead, and now Randy Newman moves up, gets real greedy, but neither enemy bot laner has any mana. Okay, this is biting off a little more than you can chew.
Right, alright.
Oh.
Is this... Wait, hold on, guys. Did we load in the first game? Or is this the third game?
Yeah, we opened up the replays.
This seems like a replay of the first game.
we put some skins on.
Yeah.
Oh man, you hate you get Randy Newman trying to do that, trying to hold the wave back so his ADC can get there to farm it up. You understand that, but I mean, when you're just taking that much minion damage, I mean, it adds up quickly. And Flying Squirrel seeing that, just knowing that, hey, yes, I will take the free gold. Thank you very much. And gonna go back and do that. Why does Lulu have Hex Flash? That's a great question. Water card. That's a great question.
Well,
Or cat,
obviously,
sorry.
because Randy Newman always takes Hex Flash. He's had it for the past other 2 games, including the last game where he also was playing Lulu. Why does he have Hex Flash then and now? I can't answer that one, but he has it.
How many times did he use Hex Flash last game? I'm guessing the number rhymes with 0.
No, it is 0. It doesn't rhyme with 0.
Boulder Bear gonna get caught out. Oh, Paranoia won't land. They're gonna pull him back. Here comes
the ultimate coming through. The ultimate dodged away by Sokarch, but it will not be enough to keep him alive. The root, the suppress. Flying Squirtle will do some get the kill, and Leroy is now in trouble. He has to flash the wall. Ponyboy's there. He finds the kill. It is a 2-for-1 now for MG Dome. They are now 2,500 gold in the lead with the Ocean Drake in their sights.
And nobody get that uncontested. Nobody be able to take him on that. It's no TF to get it over the wall. And they've been pushing mid lane. Slappy getting what he can down bot lane. Slappy still with teleport up. I don't know if it was up for that fight or not. But they'll be able to get down there uncontested. He's going to get himself a couple of plates off the top turret. And David will have a long walk back to lane. But he is 0-1-3. Has plated steel cap stun. And is working on his Gore Drinker.
Yeah, you know what? Dogmar, you were right. There is the first turret of the game going over. MG Dome now pulls ahead 3,500 gold. Flying Squirtle is scaling up.
12 minutes.
And now Sokarch, he is not going to take that much damage. He is building full AP at the moment. Looks like he'll be going for that Leandri's Torment. But, you know, other than that, I mean, MG Dome does not, they're not getting too hypey. They have Ponyboy, who is far ahead, who is building toward, is that, like, is that Stridebreaker? I don't know if Stridebreaker builds out of that, but now the dive coming through, damage coming in onto Ponyboy. He takes that third shot, and Slappy gets the shutdown and gets the double kill because why?
Oh my gosh! So Squirtle was gonna try and ult up there to try and get the shield on both of them. I think they mistimed that combination, but I'm not even sure even if they had timed that correctly, if that would have been enough to save the two from that. Aatrox holding on to his ult that time, ulting when they got down onto him. Great play by Slappy. This is all right. That might be the breath of life that Lampost needed.
Death Grips is here. He's taking a lot of damage, and so is Randy Newman. The Wild Growth coming out onto the Lulu. Death Grips going to get some damage onto Sokarch, but Randy Newman finds the kill.
Sokarch going down.
Again, and Leroy is here. The teleport coming in from Slappy finally, as he joins the team. It is all 5 members in the bot lane. Slappy, can he run down? I took it personally. We'll have to flash. The bird is alive, but it's a 1-for-0 so far. Slappy doing some damage. Ponyboy taking more damage. The stun coming out, took it personally. Does not have the E. He goes into the Agnivia, but he will not die. Not Levi. Forced to use the Featherstorm.
All right, seeing things even out a little bit more of that last fight. Great teleport down. Oh,
no vision.
No
vision from Ponyboy, but he's going to jump onto Leroy anyways. Here comes the ult by the Death Grips. The dump has jumped. It's a 2-for-2 now, and Ponyboy, he's not long for this world. He will go down with a double kill for the Aatrox.
And Slappy is starting to take over this game from the top lane, coming down, getting the double kill top lane, coming down bot lane, eating just more kills. And now things are kind of starting to turn a little bit around. Now we have a fight. We have a fight now. This is what we wanted for game 3. Two turrets are down there. Top lane and mid turret are down, and we will see if Lampost will be able to get some of these turrets back. There is still a slight gold advantage in MG Dome's favor. 2,000 gold lead on this side.
Yeah, the 2 turrets putting in work here for MG Dome. But those 2 turrets, they're mainly on the Anivia and the... no, I guess it would be the Nocturne and the Set, since Nocturne got that Rift Herald charge, and then Set just kind of took the tower on his own. Dobbin now running in, trying to find the Leroy, but Death Grips is here. He doesn't have ultimate, but he doesn't need it to find the stun.
Nope.
Deal some damage to get him low. And now the flash coming out from Set. It might keep him alive, but he has to stutter step to avoid the bomb. He will go down to the Volibear.
Game 2, Dobbin just stepped up just a little bit too far. Well, I will say he didn't want to step up too far. Thought he had to catch out on Ziggs, but Ziggs, knowing that Death Grips was there to back him up, were able to get the kill on that to see if they can get something done on the top lane. As Slappy did get some work done on that turret. And Nivea ult going to be able to easily eat away the wave on there. AFK farming with that ult. See if they're able to do something. Ponyboy make his way down on the bottom side and the Raptors move his way back bottom side, and see if they can't take that bottom side turret.
I'll be honest, my head just hurts just watching. Not because like, not because like it's anything bad. It's just like I'm so confused. I feel like things are supposed to go another way, but then the other team just pulls it out of nowhere. Like the bot lane fight lasted so long that Ponyboy respawned, walked over all the way there, used his ulti. The ward expired, placed a new one so he can jump on another guy, and still got a double kill out of that too.
Ultra went in the wings. His ult is back up again. I think they may try and bait this down and take out Levi and get this bottom side turret, and then set themselves up for Dragon. Yeah, they are well set in this.
I feel like a lot of this game. Has anyone ever seen that Shen comic that's like, I've taken a pill that's accelerated my brain. I'm not smarter, I'm just stupid faster.
I've seen the meme of that,
I feel like some of these fights, are very much like that. And now Dobbins does get jumped on. He will ult Volibear back in. Ponyboy will spell shield the ultimate from Dobbin.
Maokai coming down.
Dobbin goes over the wall, keeps
Using
himself alive. But here comes
Nocturnal.
Slappy. He's coming in. He's getting some damage in, but he's not hitting anything. He's gone over the wall. He's gone into 5. Slappy, you need to get out of there. You need to heal. The wild growth comes through.
Oh Lord,
Ponyboy
Slappy
will
doesn't know who
dodge
to hit.
away, and Slappy, he's just taking more damage. He comes over the wall and barely lives. Not Levi uses the heal to try and keep him alive. Oh, Slappy, he finally goes down, but he takes the Nocturne with him, who jumped into the pit to try and get the kill. Took it personally. That ult is interrupted. Death Grips, 1E could kill him now, but Dobbin, he's on the hunt. He's looking for it. They're slowed down. Sokarch over the wall. Leroy, he's probably dead, and Anivia will find the kill. Will burn him down with the Glacial Storm.
What a cluster. Slappy went in there so alpha, was getting ready to take damage down, and he just got caught up. He was going in 2 different directions, clicking back and forth, didn't know which way he needed to go. Much like Randy Newman in the first game with Leona, and then just MG Dome able to just wait it out, divide them up, and now this is an easy second mountain right there to be able to take. And MG Dome's starting to take control of this game again, and they're going to get that. Won't get that bottom turn on this turnaround, but it is not looking great for Lampost right now if they can't get themselves under control and fight and do these fights better.
Not Yuna and Watercan in the chat. Yeah, I also don't know what's going on at this point. I stopped trying to learn what I can off these team fights and just started counting how many times Slappy went over a wall. I counted 5 by the way, and he only has a dash that's a long cooldown, so I don't know how he got over 5 times. It might have just been 4, but still, he got over the wall 4 different times.
Couple of blast cones from there.
Yeah, blast cone, a flash, and then maybe like 2 E's, like long enough for 2 E's. In any case, good fight for MG Dome, I think.
You see Zaya pick up a Gale Force, Cinna gets her Divine Sunder, Maokai gets the Leander's Anguish, and Seth's actually can pick up a Bramble Vest for getting his Gore Drinker.
Yeah, Bramble Vest is definitely going to be pretty helpful here with Death Grips and Slappy. The Aatrox and Volibear both heal a decent amount here, so wanted to try to reduce that alongside of non-Levi eventually. Once he gets there.
And Nivea just popping this Lulu for stepping way up a little too far. And just, even 2v1, and Nivea is just a little stronger than what they can handle right now, pushing them back. Leroy trying to keep his waves cleared as best he can. I mean, that's good thing about the Ziggs. He can clear waves pretty easily, but looks like Sin and Maokai now just, free roaming these lanes. Letting Nivea get that EXP by herself, just soak all that up. And see if they'll be able to do something here in the mid lane, or if they're going to let it even just shove in that bottom wave.
All right, Ponyboy now running from Death Grips, but Death Grips may have bitten off more than he could chew. He is going to get hit with the Senna W. Everyone will back off. And it seems like we are just back to farming lanes for a little bit.
Yes, we are.
Lulu again with Shirelia's battle song, bringing that up. Let's see if that'll get him. I'd imagine she's using it more for exiting fights rather than entering.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it does work out pretty well.
Yeah, it works out pretty well. I mean, you've got the Volibear who doesn't have that chem tank, so you might want to just get a little bit of extra speed getting into the enemy team, but with the number of different engage tools that MG Dome has, you may not want to, you may not want to blow your load, so to speak, on engage when you can just disengage. You've got an Enchanter, you've got a Zaya, and Ziggs, I mean, he is no slouch at disengaging himself.
And it's clearing up this vision top side. It looks like that NG Dome really wants to get their hands on this Baron that's popped up.
I feel like with how the game is at going at this moment here, no one's really snowballing so far, so it's going to actually probably be a little bit of a slow grind. No side has a like any superior sort of macro. I mean, Ponyboy did manage to grab another Rift Herald on and having those two him, so the objective is going great for Overwatch side. of MG Dome. So maybe they have that sort of advantage, but in any case, I feel like MG Dome still has this in the bag just because they have that late game sort of scaling comp too. Anivia is pretty strong when it comes to late game, and Senna is infinitely scaling, alongside of just pairing it with some pretty good macro that Ponyboys has been displaying so far in these series. I feel like it take them a long ways so far, while Lampost still has a way to come back into this game. Not in terms like, well, I guess in terms of gold as well, seeing that they're at about 2k gold down. But alongside of that, objectives-wise, they are on the lacking side. No towers to the name, nor dragons, not even heralds. So we do have quite a ways to try to catch up.
And now Dobbins will go in, and it looks like Slappy may have gotten a little bit out of position. He will flash, but he will not avoid that fear. Dobbin now completely under the tower, dealing some damage with that showstopper, as now Death Grips comes in. He's gonna go right on to Took It Personally, but Took It Personally is just, he's dancing away, and the shutdown comes through for Ponyboy. Damage onto Dobbin. Dobbin will go down. Slappy is in the middle. He goes down as well. Flying Squirtle coming through and forcing the flash from Randy Newman. Ponyboy drops Shelly, and they will start to push in here, taking their third turret of the game. They're looking for a charge on this inner bot.
Yeah, getting another charge off, getting pretty good value off of this Shelly is going to be pretty nice for themselves, which is pretty. I mean, if they had the Ziggs on their team, this would have been a beautiful thing to see, but they don't. In any case, Lamp does, but Lamp does have some pushing power on their own once they get to the late parts of the game. But here comes another engage.
Randy Newman stepping up a little bit too far again there, and this is going to be an easy kill for these guys to clean it up.
An easy
Nocturne
triple.
is taking them out. Yep.
I mean, that's just Randy Newman out of position yet again. Flying Squirtle will go down. Death Grips and Slappy coming back for a good return kill. Sokarch, he's going to be in trouble as well, so they will find 2 in return. Doesn't look like they'll get a third, but Dobbin is coming down. He may want to start something. These are 2 tanky boys, and if we know anything about Set, he does love to pull those big guys into a big old bear hug.
He does, regardless of him being, regardless of him being down, just a little bit when it comes to gold. He is still able to start the fight and then let Nocturne clean it up and continue feeding like he is right now.
It is good to see Took It Personally spending so much time on the on solo lanes. You know, he's just continuing to scale up. He's got now a 30 CS lead over the Leroy. The ultimate comes in a little bit late from Ponyboy. Hopefully he doesn't engage on 4 here. Good job.
Banding together, always good, you know, counter for the Nocturnal. Just everybody huddle together. Where's he coming from? Good Dragon Steal by Lampost. Still trying to keep their heads above water in this rest of this match that's coming up. Trying to get some wards out, see if they can't get a Baron out of this, but doubt they'll be able to clear this and get this right now, but see if they can't just clear some of the vision out and kind of try and prep things best they can.
There we go. The Leroy will find the second kill here onto a turret for Lampost in this game, but still sitting at about a 3,000 gold disadvantage. But they are going to start up Baron. This is very, very aggressive. They're doing this with no Xayah. They're doing this while Dobbin is on the other side without taking a turret. They give up a turret for nothing.
Try to take it, Xayah City.
I guess. All right, now the stun comes out onto Ponyboy. Some damage from the Mega Inferno Bomb, but again, nothing of substance. As Dobbin continues to push, and only Randy Newman is there to try and stop him.
Look, Randy's a scary person. He took Head Splash, and he still hasn't used it this game on camera.
He needs to use Hex Flash as a power flash into Set, you know, show him who the real alpha is here. It's not Set, it's Lulu.
Truly, especially with the bittersweet skin, but ooh, all right, able to get around that. You know, I was about to say you could head slash around there.
Oh my! You're not wrong.
Randy Newman with the fancy feet, keeping himself out of trouble here. But we do see Dobbin is back in the bot lane. He continues to split push. Ponyboy and Death Grips now taking each other on. It looks like Death Grips does manage to get that red buff. And Leroy is there for moral support.
You know, that's the best kind of support you can really ask for. I mean, outside of like an actual support with Randy Newman just running around, he has his actual flash up now, so he is available for trying to get away from some of these scarier units since they have some pretty good CCs, and be getting into the fight as well, so he can drop his Wild Growth, Overgrowth. No, those are wild. Those are Hearthstone cards. I'm pretty sure it's Wild Growth though. I feel like
Overgrowth is also a rune.
Oh yeah, that too. Hearthstone cards. But now we're just going to be chilling out a little bit here. The only objective on the neutral objective that's on the board is the Baron. And I don't really want to try to push for that. One, because it's a fasting Senna that typically doesn't have that much DPS until you start building your later items. And then you have Levi, which, not necessarily down and behind, but definitely still not the biggest DPS you need on the team right now in order to try to melt down a Baron fast enough.
And not to mention, Levi did rush that full Mortal Reminder second, and while it is a very good, second item into a set and a Senna as well as a Maokai, it isn't exactly a DPS. You know, it's not a DPS machine for doing Baron. So I think both teams are happy to chill on pushing this Baron, and both of them are just happy to continue scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just gonna be chilling out here, just let's see, I guess the next biggest thing we can look forward to is in a minute and 10 seconds here with the Windrake. See if we put the MG domes onto the soul point, or if maybe Lampost can even up the dragon scores, grab them another cloud for themselves so they can have a better chance, or having their ults up more often, which, I mean, honestly, not a bad thing, just because Levi's using it as a save, Randy Newman using it as an instant heal that does, and then Leroy just pop and does the damage.
And then it just blows my mind that Maokai doesn't even walk through the bush, see anything there. There's, if anybody's can even see the ward that's there, and they all just walk right past the control ward, right in the middle of the river bush. It's there.
Randy Newman is in trouble as Flying Squirtle does some serious damage to him. Death Grips will have to ult over the wall. Overall, a lot of damage, but no deaths coming through here on either side. Randy Newman and Death Grips, however, will both have to back off. Slappy likely as well. A couple of flashes, couple of ultimates burned, but this is exactly what MG Domed want before this soul point for them.
Everything used to disengage and get away, and now MG will be able to take this dragon uncontested, and then get their sights set on the Baron after this. Or set up for it.
Yeah, they can rotate and they can pressure it for sure. They
There's
use
a control ward.
They finally find the control ward.
Let's see, they do have vision that the Xayah is at the very least not there thanks to that vision or that ward right next to the tri-bush. So they are going to be pushing pretty hard now.
Yeah, they also know that Slappy is on the bot side. He will have to commit the teleport if he wants to join this fight. Yep. Xayah is still coming from the mid lane. Slappy will come from the backside, but look at how much damage Senna does from so far away. Ponyboy gets baited in by that Zanya's Hourglass, but now Dobbin finds a huge haymaker onto Death Grips. Here comes Slappy into the middle of the fight. He heals his entire health bar back up, and that's Lamp wiping the fight off the back of Slappy. He will get that W, force 2 flashes. Death Grips will force away more, and it looks like Lamp has found themselves a saving grace.
Oh my gosh, the way that had to be glitched the game when you saw that it's completely filled back up like that, and they're, I don't want to say shredding the Baron, but they're certainly melting this thing a little bit faster than MG Domed was. And the gold lid has never breached more than 2,000 between these two, and now we're listed 1,000, just 1,000 gold away. Lampost is clawing their way back into this game on the back of Volibear and Aatrox, or Death Grips and Slappy, sorry.
Absolutely. I mean, either way, they are doing a great job of it. Slappy with that death stance, doing a lot of work here. Some of this damage, and then on top of that, you have the stairs to give him a shield on top of to reduce some of this damage, and then the Gore Drinker just fully healing his health bar, and then getting along of his ulti, so that it's increasing the heal amount that he's already getting. And then on top of that, every time he gets a kill, he also heals for for he negates all that damage he was about to mitigate, and instead just heals for percentage. So he is one beefy boy in this fight, and something that MG Dome is going to have to be careful about. Slappy, he kind of just ran in there and lived like the entire time.
And Ziggs and them just bursting down these turrets, 3 turrets to 4. Gold lead just about even, maybe a few hundred different gold difference here. And Lampost really starting to get their itemizations or item spikes here. And we will see if they can't claw their way back in here fully. Next dragon is just about up.
Dobbin
getting
going at it.
Buddy.
Yeah, that is the Gore Drinker popped, but they had Pony Boy there to help him out. Quick soul check on Senna, probably one of the major win conditions on the side of MG Domed. 155 souls here for this Senna. That is a lot of extra range, a lot of extra damage, and you know, only at 2 items compared to the 3 of Not Levi, but she makes up for a lot of that in just raw stats that she's getting from her passive. So much crit, and she's building that Guinsoo's Rage Knife now. So much attack damage.
We're tied up in turrets here, and we'll say it is difficult to manage a wave when you've got 2 turrets down on one side, and I think it's starting to kind of come back and bite. MG Dome here as that bottom wave is starting to really push in that direction. They weren't managing that very properly as Slappy kept coming down and pushing that wave in, and now they're starting to encroach on the base to see if we can get a siege in here. Oh, they're going to back. Never mind.
Yeah, they've got about 30 seconds of this Baron buff left. I would have liked to see them continue to push it a little bit, but now with 5 turrets down across the map here for Lampost, the only one that they have left is that top inner turret. They weren't going to be able to rotate all the way up to that, but they will continue now. Push into this mid lane.
Look at the bottom side of that map, just lit up like a Christmas tree with the red wards just everywhere. So if MG Dome was going to sweep or do anything, I mean, they cannot go down there without them knowing where they're at. And so they have clear vision where Nocturne or Nivea in the bottom lane, and they're going to be pushing in. Ziggs with the blue buff. And now that's just a waiting game. Yeah. They're literally just waiting for somebody to step into a bush and make a mistake like they've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon's spawning up here in about 30 seconds, so if they're playing the waiting game, they have a pretty good advantage here for Lampost. See, they found someone.
Dobbin.
Yikes.
Slappy will come over the wall, and so will Death Grips. Dobbin taking a lot of damage, but he will also heal a lot up.
Ziggs gonna
coming in, and now so comes Pony Boy. Dobbin already down. Sokarch is here, and they're fighting without Senna. Flying Squirtle's here. He's doing a lot of damage, but he walks right into the middle of them. He walks right up into Slappy's face. Flying Squirtle throws his life away. That's 4 members of MG Dome down, and Lamp finds himself another fight hand-delivered on a silver platter.
They lined up perfectly for that. Ziggs with the great Zonias and ult on top of himself to help melt down the HP of Set and the Nivea that got caught in the middle of that. Good wall by Nivea, but kind of, walled off a little bit of a kind of an odd angle. Red team could easily get that dragon. Just, oh my gosh, that corridor they were in the jungle was just the worst spot to get caught at.
Absolutely, that was quite the fight there. I mean, they Flying Squirtle just took I think it was just a bad recall point right there, especially with Dobbin walking through mid, not paying attention and getting collapsed on by Lampost. It was bad timing all around for MG Dome. There, Flying Squirtle wanted to try to get it back because he had a pretty good power spike. He had his full Guinsoo's Rage Blade. That's a lot of damage under his belt. But he needed to back and get it. But he wouldn't be back in time for the dragon to spawn up here, which was unfortunate. So that means his team couldn't take site first. But because of that, Lampost was able to set up and found someone to single off, got him, and then followed all the other teammates that tried to help him escape.
Yep, and Dobbin again getting caught out, like we did the second game. Randy Newman and Dobbin have been the ones when the team types have been started and stopped. It's because one of those two has been caught out, and right now it seems to be Dobbin seems to be the one doing a little bit more than Randy Newman has been. And we'll see if he can't get that back in line as the gold lead is still starting to increase up there a little bit. I think the biggest it has been in the game so far, but we'll see if they can't do it. Senna still just seems to be shredding people as soon as she gets a couple of autos off, and we'll see if we can't do that. Though she is 2 levels down to the Zaya. Maokai is 1 level down to the Lulu. It looks like Set is now down 2 levels as well, so a little bit of level discrepancy going on. Powers also starting to shift over towards Lampost. Looks like they're trying to set something up for Baron. I think Lampost is trying to play again the waiting game, just waiting for it to happen. They're gonna get caught on Slappy. They're just gonna eat it like nothing happened.
Yeah, this is what you want to see for MG Dome, like this late game Senna, just chunking Levi for half health. Yes, he will heal up, but you're just kind of keeping him on his toes the entire time, and on top of that, you continue to scale. It's not so important that you're 2 levels down on Levi. Of course, having that level 3 ult would be nice, but Senna's scaling does not come from her levels. It comes from her souls, and again, quick soul check, 172, reaching that 9th level break, where she will get even more critical strike, even more lifesteal, and and attack damage, and most importantly, that range. You saw from how far away she was able to hit Levi, where, like, at some point she is just going to be hitting people without them having any hope of getting back. But now Death Grip's coming in. Can he find the steal? He does it! Death Grip gets the steal. Dobbin comes into the middle of the back line, but he's not going to be able to do anything except delay. Now the Leroy is going to go down to Ponyboy. Flying Squirtle, though, has to flash away. It is a 2 for 2, and the Baron is stolen by Lampost.
Saw that coming up. Patriarchy, yes, you know who the underdog is here. Lampost is fighting to win this game to get into the playoffs. MG Dome has already made it to the playoffs, so if we had to pick an underdog here based on record, Lampost is in it. It is their chance for the playoffs to lose. So, and then we are now in game 3. So technically, Lampost. It's supposed to be Lampshade is supposed to be plat.
Most of these players are plat, is the thing, but they do things like this. And now, I mean, Levi will get his hands on an inhibitor, so that is 1 inhib taken for free here.
Yeah, you would say plat, but the way some of these guys actually wander in to some of these fights, you would know that Randy Newman is formerly gold, or that Dobbin has actually been, or I'm sorry, Diamond several times, or Randy Newman, or that Dobbin has hit Diamond a few times. You wouldn't think that. Guys, please don't come at me.
there is a lot of solo queue gameplay going on here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think as far as some of these teams have good history together, but you do get to that point where you kind of panic a little bit. And I think in the heat of the moment, some of these players tend to just rely back to that, what they got to this ELO, and they rely back on that more solo queue mentality than the team mentality, which is you guys need to regroup together, come up with a plan on the spot, and then, how do you get in here carefully? And a lot of it comes down to just not, walking back in there and here comes the ult in from Ponyboy.
Yeah, the ult comes in from Ponyboy, and they're just going to dive onto Randy Newman. He's taking a lot of damage, and he dies before he even gets to use his ultimate. Not Levi now. He has used the stopwatch. He is going to go into the ult. Flying Squirtle pumping out so much damage. The Leroy is down. Death Grip's taking a lot of damage, but he's healing a lot more. The Leroy takes down Dobbin, and now Flying Squirtle is way out of position, but he shuts down Not Levi. Flying Squirtle, though, will get dunked with that 3rd Q. Took it personally. He's caught on the back line, and this man is fried chicken. It is a 3 for 4. Ponyboy is the only guy left, and he's standing against a Volibear and an Aatrox, and I don't think he's going to stand for much longer.
He is not. Ooh, that was a good pick on the Lulu. They were able to get that out. That's Lulu's been big in their sustain. She has still had her ult up, and not able to use that to prevent the rest of the team from staying up. And just good pick on them. If they're going to pick anybody, you want to get the guy that's sustaining them. And I think that was a good choice to take out Randy Newman. And there's the final kill onto Nocturne. And Dragon should be up here in a minute. Yep, Dragon just spawned.
Dragon is up, and I mean, that was a very interesting choice for Lampost, because they definitely could have just taken Dragon. They could have let Ponyboy walk away and they could have taken Dragon. But with this, they get another 40 seconds of total map control here. They have all 5 members on. There's not much to take, and they don't have any waves pushing for them of any significance. But they've got like 30 extra seconds of Nocturne not being on the map, I guess.
Yeah, you know, it's about sending a message. It's about sending a message to Ponyboy is like, welcome to GRLCS, even if it's in the summer split, we're still running you down.
We're finally getting to the point where gold stops mattering as much. I mean, we're at 73,500 for Lampost. That's about 4,000 ahead of MG Domed, but most people are on their last item. You know, the supports still need to finish 2 items. Not Levi needs to get his last item in. Probably going to be that Guardian Angel. But everyone else, they're you know, slowly but surely building up to those final items. At this point, it will be the Senna scaling and just the natural late game power of things, of champions, that will take over. And most importantly, and something that we've seen lacking this entire series, positioning, map awareness, and not doing this shit.
Ponyboy getting bursted up, just trying to face check there. Big ult from Zeke's coming down.
And now the ultimate coming in from Dobbin. Slappy will have to use that stopwatch. The paranoia committed by Nocturne. Where is he going to go? He's going to go right on top of the Volibear. The Volibear taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down. Shutdown committed here. And now that is Flying Squirtle dead. This is a wipe. This is a team wipe here. Death Grips is dead, but no one cares. He's just a Volibear. Leroy is starting to chase down Took It personally. Meanwhile, Not Levi and Randy Newman are running for the base. They're sprinting it down and hoping to get these minions in to try and get something.
Zeke's trying to chase down, keep Took It personally from out.
This game's taking so long, I decided to just start standing up.
Oh my gosh.
I started this game standing up, and I sat down.
But I guess this will be the end of it. Here's the last ulti, though.
Yeah, the last ulti will find the kill onto Randy Newman. Just a little bit of a moral victory here. Ponyboy, he knows he can't win. He can just run it right in, get himself killed, kill the Leroy, but it is going to be Lampost advancing to the playoffs. Congratulations to the boys on the red side, bringing it back after a very rough game 1.
And Aatrox's very impressive performance by Slappy. Slappy really bringing it back. Any doubters that there were on the Slappy losing the first 2 games top lane, honestly, outright losing the first 2 games top lane, able to bring it back, really carry his team in the 3rd game. Just outstanding performance by Slappy. I mean, phenomenal. Ziggs high damage, Aatrox damage up there. Just fantastic game out of all these players. Great series from all teams all around.
Yeah, and just to get things set in, so let's look at how the bracket's kind of shaping up here. So we were talking about how this is a little bit of the underdog story for Lamp versus MG Domed, because this is what it basically turned out to. So if MG Domed won, they just move on, and then Sensei Squad is in 4th spot. But now Lamp wins, and they won at a 2-1. That means Lamp is going to be third seed now, and MG Dome has knocked out Sensei Squad from the top 4. So that means MG Dome is going to be our 4th seed, and Sensei Squad is moving out of the top 4 for the Braum Conference, the Braum's Bodybuilders.
Sensei Squad, fantastic summer split, guys. Fantastic spring split, too. Hope to see you guys again in the fall split. You guys always get the great lineup. Cars just did not fall your way this time around. Congratulations again to Lampost. Just a phenomenal performance of putting this together. And this is what I love about middle of the pack teams that are out of it, you know, just on the edge of playoffs, is they really pull out all the stops to just try and make it into there. And this is a gritty fight on MG Dome. Even though it didn't matter to them, they're already in it. We're doing their best to try and prevent Lampost from hopping back into it. And maybe, who knows, they'll get a chance at revenge as they'll try and see Lampost again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well thought series by both teams, but we will regrettably have to call it for the night. There are no more games to stream. However, next week, Thursday night, 7 p.m. CST, be here because we are going to be casting the third week of the Gold Gauntlet. It's going to be the three of us yet again casting Cosmic Flow versus the team who seems to be tearing their way up the bracket, the Dirty Diet Boys.
And I'm actually thinking about maybe bringing back Asami just because he's been casting for every single Dirty Diet Boy, so he would probably have the best knowledge about what they can and cannot do, or at least have an idea about it since he's been following them so far.
Well, there will be three of us casting that game next Thursday at 7 CST.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in any case, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. So, bye-bye.